everyone. Now, I'm not personally interviewing her. She might pop up on here, which will be wonderful. She surprised me more than once. The Pink Pill, Crystal and Carrison. I am making a short video tonight, and I want to hear your voices on this issue. I have to say again, great minds think alike. I swear I wanted to say something similar to what she said. I sort of did, but you know, her most recent video, I believe it came out today. I watched it, packed with wonderful information, a 9-minute video that I will be showing. Crystalline, if you see this video, if you don't want me to use your picture or clips, please let me know, because I will not do that, But this was a wonderful, wonderful message that she sent. It's extremely important, and it's just the damn truth. It's just the truth. Okay? Now, anybody who's unfamiliar with her, she is legendary. She's beautiful. She's articulate. She's talented. She's inspirational. And she created a program called the Pink Pill. It's a program, she has it for business. She helps college students. She teaches Black women what they need to know to navigate in this world, how to get along with people, to raise your social status, and so much more. She has her haters, but, that happens. She keeps it pushing, and she is needed, period, for women, all women, in my opinion, especially, a number of Black women follow her. So, oh, hey, your favorite bad wench. I haven't seen you in a while. Okay. So, all right. So the topic of tonight is basically, if you're down for the swirl, you're going to have to build relationships with the women of his race, his family members and stuff like that. And, this is just, I would think a lot of women would naturally know this. And, okay, I've said something similar when it came to the whole Kamala Harris thing. I don't get the big deal of why some Black women and some men, they were just mad because she was locking up criminals, doing her job as a DA. But besides the whole locking up mothers who didn't have their kids in school thing, it was pretty obvious there was a number, because I saw it in my comments section, oh, well, I'm not going to support her because she's biracial. I'm like, so what? Why does that bother you? If she were white, would it bother you? Would it bother you if she was something else? What is your hang up with the fact that her mother is from India? What that got to do with being a vice president? And I don't get it. It was just pure hatred, some have in their hearts. And I made a video. I'm going to share my small clip I made. The video is still up. I edited it, so it's not, you don't see the whole thing. But this is what I had to say. Now, the Pink Pill, Crystal and Carrison, she was touching on tonight so many deep things. And one of them is, if you're going to be with the men who are not Black, your relationships with the women of his race is important. That's important, period, as a human, And, but anyway, this is what I had to say. Now, this video was made like a month or two ago. Hold on.
What's up, y'all? Forgive how I look right now. I just couldn't hold this in. I did talk about Kamala Harris yesterday. I won't say any more until a few more days. But what I will say what I noticed with maybe 1 to 2 people, I didn't say a name, so don't go making assumptions. But what I will say is this, and this is very important. If you claim to be down with the swirl and for us going with white men and men not Black, but a lot of times white, then how in the can you be so triggered that this woman is biracial? And she's still, biracial, whatever. Again, if you're triggered, they say the hit dog hollers. But it had to be said. There are a number like this. Don't tell me you down for interracial swirling, but yet you are so triggered that, oh, she's not Black. So, but how to come on here all about, I support the swirl life. What do you think your children are going to be?
Okay, so that was just a small clip that I had made that video months ago. Now, Brown Becky, you said Chrissy did a response on the video. What video? Was it the Pink Pills most recent video? Okay, so that's what I had said when it comes to, listen, if you got a problem with somebody being biracial, you shouldn't be swirling. Your baby's gonna be biracial. Society is not gonna look at them and know that they mama black. No one knows this, okay? Just like there was a certain YouTuber who swear to God, okay, the mama not black, the baby ain't black, but yet I have a picture of a woman in the video and she throws a damn fit telling me to take her picture off because she ain't black looking enough. But yet you claim that the ones with black mamas black, but see, you didn't know if the mama black, you don't know. All you know, she look mixed to you and you hate her ass. See what I'm saying? I'm making a point. Nobody don't know who, if the mama black or not when you see them outside. If you can tell, because yes, you can tell sometimes, if they're more heavier mixed or whatever. Do you know if the mama's black? No, you don't. You don't know. And there are people with hangups, and it's been like this for a while. I know some people don't want to admit it. Yes, there are some out here for their own reasons. Some people got legit reasons, stuff that has happened to them in their life regarding different looking people or people, all that other stuff. But the point I'm making is you don't know if the mom was black or not when you meet them unless they tell you and you see them. And if you got a problem with them, and in some cases they might have gone through something and they assume you don't like them automatically. I've seen it. It goes both ways. But at the end of the day, if you got a problem with biracial identity, biracial this, biracial that, then stop. Don't do it. Don't swirl. It just don't make sense. If you have racial hangups, you racist, you prejudiced, yes, you ain't off the hook, black woman, either. Let's just keep it real. Some of y'all are out here. You don't need to swirl. That's just my opinion. And I'm not the only one who clearly feels that way. So there are some who do, listen, if you raised with a daddy that hate black women, got skin color issues, the woman, in some cases, some of the women don't like black women because black women look at them funny. They talk about them. They read what black women say online. I'm pretty sure I pissed some of them off. I'll be pissed too, to be honest with you. You got all of that. It's a mixture of different things. It's not just one way. You got some who do might think they're superior because of their dads and mothers. It exists. You got a bunch of different things that exist. It's not just one way. Some are and some aren't. That's like the Pink Pill said, Crystalline, this is life. You can't go judging everybody off of one thing that happened. Because if that was the case, I wouldn't even stick up for black women. Because black women have treated me the worst out of everybody throughout my whole life, and I still stand up for a number of black women. I could have easily said, to hell with that. These men right. Y'all can be on y'all own. I ain't gonna stick up for none of y'all. Y'all made my life hell. Y'all treat me like I ain't even your sister. But that ain't my whole experience with black women. And there are a lot like me, and the number of you who follow me, that need women to stand up for you because you're good souls and good people, and you're not, So, okay. Hello, Goat. Goat, you ain't from America. I get what you're saying, but I ain't even gonna get into that. Okay. So, what I'm gonna do right now, I'm going to play the clip. It was only 9 minutes, so that's not very long. A very powerful video by the Pink Pill Crystalline Karazin. I'm going to play this and then I'm going to talk about it. This is her most recent video that I just thought was so wonderful. And I'm going to talk about that. Okay.
The pink pill is the pink pill now. Put your pinkies up now, up now, up. Live well to the extreme now. Put your pinkies up now, up up now, up.
Hey, it's Pinky. You're on the Pink Pill YouTube channel. Be a love and like, share, and subscribe. Pinky's up.
Hey guys, Chris here again from the Pink Pill. I want to have a serious discussion about something. I just recently posted a success story of one of my followers who followed my teachings on the Pink Pill and landed an amazing husband who is a successful, gorgeous provider. And within the testimony, she mentioned that the things that she'd learned in the Pink Pill about how to be a good guest and how to present herself landed her in the good graces of her future mother-in-law. She simply said in her testimonial that her mother-in-law likes her now. And one of the responses was, what she mean by that? Her mother-in-law likes her now. So you mean I gotta kiss up to white women? Ugh, ooh, ugh. Okay, let me tell you something. If you think that you can navigate in a world and not have to work to build rapport and get into the good graces of people, you're going to lose, okay? Here's the deal. Whether it's a future mother-in-law, whether it's an employer, whether it's an employee, you gotta learn how to build rapport and cultivate relationships so that you can effectively network, so that you get what you want. I need for you guys to abandon this idea that you just can just show up and just be like, you just gonna have to take me, hi, I ain't kissing up to you, blah, 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 blah. How's that working out for you? How many proposals have you had? How many promotions have you had? Listen, in the real world, we all have to ingratiate ourselves in order to build relationships, build rapport, so bottom line, we get what we want. What I find a lot of is that Black women think that all they have to do is show up and not have to make any type of effort. In particular, let's talk about relationships. And you're dealing with potentially a white mother-in-law. A lot of you are interested in interracial relationships, but you have issues with white women. You have issues with white people in general. So you think that you can just be with this white guy or be with this non-Black man from a different culture and totally disregard all of the women in his life that mean something to him. Do you think that, for instance, you got engaged to a Black man and you met the mother-in-law? Did you think that you could just show up and just be in your kind of way? Or did you think that maybe you're going to have to work to be in her good favor too? Why is it so offensive to work to be in the good favor of a white mother-in-law, but there's no question working to be in the good favor of a Black mother-in-law? I think a lot of you need to really examine the chips that you have on your shoulder about white people. I understand where it comes from, and a lot of it is valid. When I was going through what I was going through, where somebody white really did something to betray me in a very obvious way, a lot of you said, see, you should not deal with white women at all. White women should not even be in the equation. Now, if I would have taken that attitude, I would not have been on the news the other day. Here's the thing. With life, you have to take chances. In life, you're going to have to put yourself out there. In life, you're going to have to be vulnerable. And so to shut yourself off from all these potential blessings and opportunities because you aren't going to kiss up, you're going to end up being alone, you're going to be stuck in the same job, you're going to be stuck in the same situation because you absolutely refuse to be hopeful and open. And here's the thing. When it comes to building relationship with people, whether it's romantically or professionally, you have to be open. You can't expect for people to come to you. The ideal is that you guys come together. But here's the thing. When it comes to getting in the good graces of people, whether it's a boss, whether it's a future mother-in-law, whether it's a sister of your boyfriend, whether it's a friend of your boyfriend, people, you want to present yourself in a way that you're likable and not have a chip on your shoulder. And that's what a lot of people have complaints about when it comes to Black women. Look, I get it. We get rejected a lot. And sometimes it just hurts less to reject before being rejected. I get it. But if you go through life that way, what's going to happen is you're going to miss out on so many opportunities because you're going to turn so many people off because your energy is so closed off. And you've made assumptions about people that if it were the other way around, you would feel were racist and prejudiced against you. If people made assumptions about you based on the way you looked or from your background, you would call that something ugly. But when you do it, it's just, I'm not gonna kiss up. You're gonna have to like me the way you like me. You're just gonna have to like me the way I am. And the fact of the matter is that the most successful people in the world know how to build bridges. They know how to cultivate relationships. They know how to be a little bit hopeful and vulnerable and to meet people in the middle. And so if you go through life being afraid of being rejected, assuming and projecting that every non-Black person has it out for you, or you think that you only have to be nice to that white guy you like and you don't have to worry about anybody else in his life, I have news for you. White men are cultivated differently, okay? They are cultivated to have a love and respect for the women in their lives. And if you can't understand that, respect that, accept that, then things are going to be really hard for you in the long run. You're going to have to learn to take down that defensiveness. You're going to have to learn how to dial it down a little bit and not making so many assumptions, and meet people where they are and build rapport, okay? If you're not ready to do that, if you're not prepared to do that, then you're not prepared to move further in life. Because in order to move further in life, you're going to have to open yourself up. And sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes you're going to be hurt. But that's life. That's life. Think about all the risks you took with all of those Black guys you dated. You didn't date one Black guy and say, well, that's it for me. A lot of you have given Black men chance after chance after chance. A lot of you have given Black people in general chance after chance after chance after hurting you repeatedly, but then have a certain set of expectations that are totally different from everyone else. So I would just ask that if you want to be successful, because you're not doing me a favor, you're doing you a favor. If you want to be successful professionally and personally and romantically, you're going to have to meet people in the middle. You're going to have to stop being so defensive and stop thinking that every person is out to get you. It's a lonely place to be. It's not a good place to be. And it's not going to be a successful place to be. So that's what I have to say about that. I know it might have sounded harsh, but here's the facts of the matter. We need to be more open. We need to be more vulnerable. We need to be more open to take risks. And yes, you are going to make the wrong choices sometimes. But again, you pick yourself up, you learn the lesson, and you keep going. But the lesson shouldn't be that you're just going to give up and you're just going to shut yourself off. If you do that, the only person that loses is you. I'm Crystalline Karazin, the creator of the Pink Pill franchise. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. And pinkies up.
God, I love Crystalline. You know, okay, I'm going to address 3. I'll get into it. Thank you for the donation, Sasha. Now, you said biracial and non-Black women want a seat at our table, and We have to be exclusive. It's about self-preservation. That's an interesting word, self-preservation, because when we swirl. But at the end of the day, I mean, you have some women who say, well, the child is black because I'm a black woman, but then, oh, well, my child, I guess they would tell their kids, okay, don't talk about black women issues, even though I'm calling you a black woman because you came out of my vagina. You know, it's just, I don't know. But I get that whole discussion, but this is not about a seat at the table. This was about so much bigger things than that, and I'm going to talk about that. Okay, you do have some women who just, I think the damage, because so many of the black men who do have a hate in their heart has caused damage by making children and passing on, saying bad things about black women. And then you do have some black women who have, maybe some are insecure, some of them around them, or the way they feel they've been treated, or how society within the black community and what they see with the colorism that causes issues. These issues exist. Is that the case all the time? No, it's not. Like I said earlier. But this is about black women being open to friendships. It's about taking hate out your heart. You want, okay, but I'm going to get into that, okay? Now I want to also say, okay, when we speak of God, God does say to love all. So you shouldn't hate anyone. And that does exist. Even with some black women, it exists. Okay, I've seen it. Okay. Let's see. BJ, you said that you're so sorry. What are you so sorry about? Let me know in the chat. Goat, I see you making a lot of comments about mixing and stuff. This is all I will say is this is America. You know the deal. But there are also a number of us who mixed after slavery. So yes, to the answer to your question, yes. Mr. Goat. Okay. Now for me, because I read one of your comments, I have to be honest, I've never really had an issue with white women. Some of them have been very nice to me, nicer than some black women. Like I said, everyone's an individual. You know, I've had one of my best friends, my first best friends was a white girl. Went over her house for dinner, told her she was my friend. I've been around racist white girls before. Yes, I had this white girl steal my money. I also had a black girl steal my money. So one of the experiences I've had with racism, to be honest with you, it hasn't even been white women. It's been a Hispanic group the most that has been nasty to me, not white women. So I never, cared about them dating black men. I never was one of those black women, because I used to hear it when I was younger. Oh, they taking our men. You can't take nothing. They want to go. She ain't take anything. He wanted to go. Go ahead and go. Everyone deserves a right to be happy. Some of them really love them, some don't. I've never hated on a black man with a white woman. One of my grandparents, his mama was white. My great grandma, I mean, I'm not going to hate on that. I don't like the ones that are just naturally hateful towards black women. And they do that, and then you know the deal with that. Okay, one of you mentioned that Chrissy did a response video. A response video to what video? Is it the most recent one the Pink Pill did? Okay. So, oh, thank you, Poseidon MGTOW. Oh, thank you. Okay. Just, that saying, all skin folks is not kin folks. So just because I'm reading your comment, you says you had a white friend and she was competing with you and attracted trash, you attracted class, and she was jealous. You got to watch all people, all women that you bring in your circle, no matter what their race is, because it would be naive for anybody to think, oh, she's a black woman like me, that means she's a good person, she's going to be down for me. No, that ain't the case a number of times. They can still sleep with your man. They can still hate on you. They can still compete with you and all of that. Even while it seems y'all are bonding over things. I've experienced this. So, okay. So, okay, I played the clip. And this was a very powerful video to me because she's saying the damn truth about a lot of stuff in a very short clip. Okay, now I'm going to touch on some things before I take the calls. And the calls, this is not about biracial or whatever, being in black women's spaces. The subject of tonight is, if you're going to swirl, you cannot hate the race he comes from, the women. For example, I don't know about you, but when I have kids, I want them to have a family that they get along with. If the man isn't black, when they go over grandma's house, I want there to be peace and harmony. Now, I do understand you have some of these mothers who are racist and can't accept it. I understand the whole not butt kissing thing brung up. But it's not always based on race as to why someone doesn't like you. I've seen a number of black people do this period throughout my life. Oh, it's because I'm black. Maybe it is because they just don't like you. It ain't got nothing to do with you being black. Your personality, your vibe. You know, it's not always because you're black. Now, and people can smell the uncomfortableness. They can feel it, you know, the imposter syndrome. And I'm not saying that there's no reason that it shouldn't exist. It exists. There's reasons behind it. But anyway, you're going to deal with these men not black. You're going to have to, in my opinion, don't you want to learn how to cook food from his culture? What's his favorite meal growing up? Don't you want to learn the language some? Maybe the mother can teach you certain words like I love you or something sweet, and you surprise him when he comes home saying it in his native language. Or even if he's a white man in America, maybe he has a favorite meal and he wants it cooked just like his mother used to cook it, and you go hang out with her and learn these meals. Building a relationship with her. If you do everything you can and she won't accept you, then let God handle it and there's nothing you can do. But there's nothing wrong with building relationships with the mother, the sisters, the aunts, or just, I don't think anyone would be turned on with hearing you be so hateful all the time about the person because of their race. All right, let's see. It's not good. A lot of things she said in the video. It isn't good to stereotype. You don't want to be stereotyped. I've said this before. You can't stereotype people because if people were to assume, and this has happened to a number of black women, oh, how many kids you got? They already assume you're a baby mama with 5 kids and stuff, or 6 kids by different men. And I'm sure we would get offended, but it exists, unfortunately. Who wants to be stereotyped? I don't like being stereotyped. For instance, when it comes to the Arabic men, anytime we bring up Arabic men, I have to keep hearing, oh, they're going to kill you, they're going to kidnap you, they're going to beat the crap out of you. These are stereotypes. Does it exist within their culture? Yes, but all races of men beat up their women, some of them. But you write them off right away and stereotype them as butt whoopers who are crazy. And then we would get upset if they turn around and say, well, I won't date you as a black woman because I heard such and such and such about y'all. I mean, your own men leaving, and why should I, wouldn't that upset you? So stereotyping is not good to do. The golden rule we all grew up with is treat people how you want to be treated. Okay. She says you don't want to come off always as defensive. And I was going to do a video about this, that it's really extremely unhealthy for us as black women to become self-isolated. Isolating ourselves from the entire world's people is going to put us on the so-called untouchable level. And I will not stand for that. It is not healthy. When you speak these words, everyone hates us, they will all start hating you. Yes, racism exists in every community, even within their own. But there are some people who are not racist and who do not hate you. I think I said before, one of the biggest problems I would see, some people also do this from different cultures. They won't speak. They want to stay. They're in their apartment complex next door. They won't come out the house. They come out the house. They just don't say nothing. It's like a lot of the ice could be broken between people if y'all just spoke and said hi. And I'm not saying that just directed towards Black women, even with other people of different groups and cultures. It's not that serious. Y'all have been on the planet for thousands of years. What is wrong with you, humanity? Get over that you had different skin complexions and hair textures and different facial features. How is it that you are not used to this by now? It's been thousands of years. What is wrong with y'all? Sorry I had to say it. It's not that deep. Get along. It's not that serious. And once y'all talk, you actually find that you're not very different. You're really not. So all that hatred has to go. I'm sick of it. The assumptions. I've had this happen before. Like I said, I went to the store. I'm buying an opera type of CD. I get this weird look because no one would assume a Black girl likes this kind of music. It's like, stop assuming. Stop assuming. And don't assume that someone automatically hates you or has a problem with you because you're a Black woman or whatever. I'm not saying people like that don't exist. Yes, they do. Sometimes some people are jealous of you because you're so pretty, or your energy is so wonderful and theirs isn't, and all this other type of stuff. But isolation is not healthy. This whole I don't need no one, we just gonna stay to ourselves. We just not gonna ever talk to nobody. And a lot of people, why is this chat moving? Because it's not. Hold on, let me type something. I'm gonna say hi, y'all, because I don't see this chat moving. As a matter of fact, hold on. Okay, now the chat's moving. Okay, give it a second. I just don't think it's going to help us socially. We can't raise our social status if we're isolated. Look at how a number of Black men have done. They've moved up a little socially. There's an article I wanted to post where it said that Black men have a easier time with assimilation, or I don't think the word was assimilation, but it's sort of similar. Basically, they just don't have a hard time getting along with people faster and fitting in. Now, I know what's going to be said with that comment, but I'm just saying, a part of femininity is being gracious and kind. It doesn't mean you have to talk to everyone. Some of us are introverts. Some of us are extroverts. But you will be surprised how a smile can break the ice, and a simple hello. And just giving off that vibe like, okay, hello, how are you? You're a human being like me. Hi. What's up? How are you? How was your day? Oh, I love that song too. Did you? Small conversation. Like I said, I've had this happen when I talk to guys not Black. Simple conversation, and they're so shocked I know even where their country. I'm not saying they think I'm stupid, but I know where their country is. I know what a special top food is from their country. I like a certain music artist from their country. And they get so comfortable and excited and happy, like, oh, wow. and then you start talking. It's the same thing with women. Now, if a woman is giving off a bad vibe, like she's racist or a snooty look, hey, the golden rule. I can do it too. I don't have to stoop down to her level, but I don't have to be bothered with her. But does that mean she represents every single woman of that group that's doing that? No. You know, one of my close friends, I've regretted to this day, I didn't keep in contact with her. She was so sweet. She was Mexican, gorgeous. She got married young, and we used to hang out with each other, and I was over her home. No one treated me different or anything like that. There might have been a comment made before from someone who was also Mexican that didn't like that she was hanging with me, and she said something back in Spanish, and they kept walking. But she never had a problem with me. And then I've also had a number of Mexican women racist as hell towards me. But I remember my friend and how sweet she was. And I'm like, you know what? Even though I don't like this crap with a number of them, I'm not sure what it is about me that triggers them for some reason. I mean, a number of their men always after me. But, you know, she was a kind soul. And I'm not going to write off all Mexican women because, you know, of that. And I had a really close Mexican friend. And I'm actually going to make a call to someone soon. It's like God kept putting this woman in my life. She's a white woman. I think we might be the same age. She's in the same industry as me. And I swear to God, I keep running into her. And I'm like, you know what? I keep saying I'm going to call her. Because I'm like, you know what? God is putting this woman in my life. God is putting this woman in my life. We keep running into each other and bringing up, you didn't call. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to call this woman. She's really friendly. We have the same interests. I'm like, this is a sign. I'm not running to her too damn much. And, you know, I just have so much I'm doing that I didn't keep in contact with her. But, you know, yeah, she's a white woman. And I'm going to call her. And, you know, life is short. We don't need to be all isolated. I know it can be hard. So many black women do feel like people hate them, because all the abuse that's going on for so long online, and some people just didn't. There was some who come to the defense and some who don't. Some people feel like they can't get in it. Some of them feel like it's not our people or culture. We got to back out of it and don't say nothing. And that's why some don't. And then you got a few who do come on YouTube saying, well, this is not right. You got a few. Look at Lord Tyvek. Yeah, Chase. We don't. And then our relationships with each other is not great as black women. It can be improved. But people are individuals, and you never know. Let me tell you this story. I swear to God, I love this. I was at the mall, and it was a party coming up, and I needed a good cake recipe. So I went in Barnes and Nobles, and it was an old white woman sitting in there. She had to be damn near 70 or something. And I was sitting down looking through some cookbooks, and we sparked up a conversation. And I found out so much about her, like places I wanted to go. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Vanity Emmanuel. So I'm looking at these cookbooks, and we started talking, and places I wanted to travel to, she went there. So she started talking to me about her travels. Like, she went to Venice, Italy, and I always wanted to go to Venice, Italy. Venice, Italy. I always wanted to go there. And we talked for like an hour. I'm in my 20s. She's in her 70s. She's dressed all cute and stuff. And we're just talking about life and traveling. And you know what she did? She gave me a recipe. She gave me the recipe. She told me, this cake recipe is so good, people are gonna think you bought it from a bakery. So I got the recipe from her, and it was delicious. And I'm like, wow. See, I was looking for a cake, a good recipe, and here's this little old white lady, and we end up talking for an hour, and she gives me one of the best recipes of my life and stories of her life and travels and places that I wanted to go. And see, I would not have known that or met her or got that recipe if we hadn't a talk. You know? So you never know who you can meet or what conversation you can have or who can look out for you. And I remember the pink pill brought this up. When people are so caught up on race, but yet she's mentioned some of the people who are helping me in my life are the same people that you want me to hate. Some of these same people who aren't black help me with my career, everything I'm doing. I said that similar in the old video I had. Like, look at where we live and things given to us and stuff. All types of stuff that helps us. So, you know? So isolation is not healthy. It is not healthy. With the whole Sierra about them talking about breeding yourselves out, if that was the case, why do we still look the way we do? I got 3 biracial grandparents. And you know what? I always feel like this. There's enough black women who had black children. We see it, that they will be fine. Not everyone's going to swirl, especially black women. And when I say swirl, I'm a rainbow swirler. Yes, I talk to all races of men, including black. I don't have a preference. But I will say this. Black women who are open to swirling and who do are not the majority. So that's a fear tactic that they do. To try to, oh, you're gonna, no, no, no. They will be fine. And I'm not obligated to have to stay with one group of men. They don't care. Why do I have to? And I'm not only attracted to them. So I'm just about be open, be open. Some women like only one type and some don't. But this whole extinction thing didn't happen until black women started doing it. Black men have been swirling for a hot minute. Yes, it's nothing new to America. I mean, it's happened a long time ago. Even when the indentured servants were here, it was swirling. Oh yes. So, you know, but it definitely is a fear tactic. So again, I do promote and think it is healthy. Watch all your friends closely, no matter what race they are. But it is healthy to have diverse groups. You can learn different things, and it's just a great thing. It's a great thing for all humans to get together. And with our stereotype and image, I'm sorry, black women, it is crucial. It is crucial at this point because we have to change our social image. Negative energy, it will kill us. It really will. Having more friends is for the betterment of all our lives. And people need to see the butterfly that's there. People need to see the sweet soul that so many of you have. They're not getting to see how sweet some of y'all are because y'all are quiet. Some of you are. You don't really let people in like that. And some of you want to do certain things, but you think, damn, I might be the only black woman there. I've had this feeling. Like when it comes to Shania Twain, I want to see Shania Twain. And I used to think, damn, I'm probably going to be the only black woman out there at this Shania Twain concert. And you know what? At this point, the older you get, it's true, the more you just stop giving a damn. And you know what? I said, I'm going to see Shania Twain. Okay, she was in Vegas. I'm going to see Mariah. I'm going to see Sade, Brandy, all of that. You shouldn't let fear limit you from having joy. Oh my God, Celine Dion. I almost went to see her last year, but she was doing a concert for her newest album, and I wanted to hear all of her older songs, so that's why I didn't go. But I still will see Celine Dion, and Celine Dion is very kind. She is so sweet, very nice. Black women, you are not a stereotype. You are not a character. You're a person with your own personality, your own interests. Let the world see you. Let them see that you're not just this stereotypical thing that they believe. Oh, she only listens to R&B. Oh, she's cooking fried chicken and some collard greens, and she can't put a sentence together, or she's this and that. You know what some people, ignorant people, think. Show the world that's not who you are. And a number of you have. And don't reject these women that show something different. I've seen this hateration towards the pink pill, Crystal and Karazhan. Oh, she tries to act so classy and this. So what? The world needs to see this, because women like this is what's going to help change your image so people can stop thinking we're all ghetto. Okay? Now, whether people believe it's real or not, it don't matter. She represents something great, just like I represent something great in all of you. Okay? There are some people who want to see you be the stereotype. You are not a stereotype. You don't have to be. It is okay for you to like stuff that people feel isn't culturally black. Sometimes you just you ain't interested in some of that stuff. You don't got to be. No one has to tell you how to be. This is how you act because you're a black woman. No. You don't need to feel guilty, because not having the so-called Blackistan attitude is going to get you far in life. But it's just about being open to different things, like Crystal and Karazhan said. She mentioned, the video was deep because she's also talking about, your relationships at work and with people in general, and how, she mentioned how some women think, well, I'm just going to be like this, and they just got to accept it. Not being open for change, okay? For positive change that's going to uplift you, upgrade your life and your circumstances, and make connections with people that can help you, like she said, okay? We have to break the stereotypes. It hasn't worked. It ain't help us. And a lot of black women feel they're on their own. Well, you're going to have to change these stereotypes. It's in a crisis mode at this point. But don't fake it. You don't have to fake it. Be genuine with it. But stop isolating yourself thinking you can't be friends with people, or they don't want to be friends with you. If you get that energy and that vibe, then don't bother with them. But that doesn't mean everyone's going to be like that towards you again. Okay. When it comes to racism, in the end, what she basically said in a nutshell, stop being prejudiced and racist. That's what it boils down to. You're not exempt. It does exist with some of you out here. It's not a pretty trait. It's not feminine. It's not godly. Don't do this. Okay? I mean, I've seen it. When I was in school, I was friends with an Asian girl. We were pretty cool. And this girl I was cool with who was black, she gave me this nasty look like, who is she? Like, what you hanging out with her for? And looked at her nasty. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was really turned off by it. Like, you have a problem automatically because she's Asian? She didn't even do anything to you. And there were other traits about her that she came in my house that I hate light-skinned bees. When she saw this Omarion video, and my mother is lighter, and I took that a certain way. It would be no different if someone said I hate dark bees and your mother's dark skin. That would offend somebody too. So I just couldn't deal with her. But yeah, racism exists amongst all groups. Like I said, it exists with all groups. I'll give another example about breaking the ice sometimes. When I was friends, the white girl I was friends with, I was the only black girl at the lunch table. I wasn't that uncomfortable, but there was one girl who, she was white. She was uncomfortable. And I could have been a nasty little thing to her. But I had God in me since I was little. I have a good spirit, honestly. And I simply smiled at her. And it was a natural smile. And then she smiled at me. And I never had an uncomfortable look from her again. Everyone just kept doing their thing. It was nothing. It was sort of like she realized, I don't know if she thought I was a threat or something. I don't know. But it was like after that, it was like we were cool with each other. We barely talked, but it wasn't any weird vibe. It was just okay. So hold on now. Danielle, a black person might not be racist to people when they say you got to have power to be racist to oppress, but black people can be prejudiced and discriminate. And if given in the same position of power, they would do the same thing, some of them. Calling them crackers and cave beasts and saying the same thing they say about black people, the ones who are racist, and then the black person does it, and it does exist. It's the same. That's just a cop out black people use to try to not seem like they ain't as evil or nasty as other people. And they are, some of them. So, I mean, we even have the racism within the race. So, hold on for a second. Ah, shoot. I think it's in everyone, not just one group. Some people can be worse than others. I do think there are a number of black people who have very loving and trusting souls, more welcoming, but there are also a number who aren't. But I've definitely heard and seen black people act just as nasty as some other groups. So it definitely exists. We don't have to call it racism, but like someone said, being bigoted or being prejudiced and all of that. Okay, so I think I've kind of touched on everything. You should open yourself up to friendships with all types of people because they can be very loving. You never know the kind of relationship you can build with someone who looks different from you. They can be lifelong friends. At the end of the day, people are still people. Okay, and for me, I loved her video because it talked about, again, you don't want to be isolated. You don't want to be prejudiced. And racism is an ugly thing. And she mentioned that, you should take chances. You should take chances in life. That whole situation that happened with her and that woman. That whole situation that happened with that woman. She trusted her. Yes, she did her dirty. And I was going to talk about it, but I stayed out of it. I was very surprised because I was watching that woman's videos, but I wasn't supporting one over the other. I would just look at both of them. And I was surprised to find out the story of how she came up. And when I heard about it, I didn't immediately think, oh, the white woman. The truth is, I just thought, you know what? She could have easily been black too. I've seen this happen with black women too. But it was taken worse, sir. 1717. Just almost. But I understand a lot felt a certain way because of the history of certain things, and you got to be careful, period. I mean, I've even with this channel, I've had things happen with other black women. So, you know. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I got the number up, and I want y'all to call in about tonight's topic. Now, let me open up the phone lines, as a matter of fact. Hold on. I think I will take maybe like 4 calls tonight. And the topic basically is, how do you feel? I mean, do you feel it's important to have a relationship with the women of the man you're dating, his race? Hi.
Hi, how you doing, Cerebral? It's been a while. I haven't spoken to you.
Hey. How are you? Is this Shelly?
How you doing? I just wanted to say this is a great topic, and I agree, and I also I see the other part as well, because it is a constant issue with black women, with white women, because we're constantly, what's the word? They compare us to them all the time, and so a lot of times it's a defense mechanism. Like, okay, you say this, so I'm gonna say that. You understand? And the flip side of that is that when we put down the white woman and we elevate the white man, it's just like saying when a black man does the opposite. It's like you're hating the white man, but he created the white woman that you love. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I understand both sides. However, it's not the same when it comes to black women, because no other woman is compared and our hair and our skin tone is talked about, in such a negative manner. So it's a defense. It's like, okay, I wanna keep to myself to protect myself.
Let me say one thing. Excuse me, I'm sorry. When I hear black women saying everyone hates us, it's true that there's racism globally, but I have to say, the number one person that dog out, I have never come across that many, if they don't say it at least to a lot of our faces, Indian, Asian, Arabics, they don't really say nothing to no black woman like that. If anybody has done it publicly, that's been black men. They're the number one ones who do this, not everyone else.
No, that's what I meant when we're compared. I didn't say black men. That was my fault. They would compare us, so it's like a defense mechanism when we say, well, Becky this and that, because it's like, you're coming at me like that. So then it's like a tick for tat situation.
But
that's what I was alluding to.
Now, okay, so if you see a white woman with a black man, do you feel, okay, it's harder for the black women to befriend these women? They might think they hate them, but I'm talking about just random women you meet in general. Like every day you go out, and some women might not want to interact with a woman not black because they think, oh, she hates me, and she might be really nice,
Yeah, and that's wrong. It's a self isolation, because we hear it, and so we automatically think that. And I agree with what you're saying, and I also see the other part. But I was just coming from a perspective like how you're hearing it, and so you're just automatically, thinking that way, and you wanna say something back, because when you're attacked, you automatically do that, and that's wrong. You understand? And another thing I wanted to say really quick is that you made an excellent point when you said that the black men have an easier time socializing with other groups of people. And to me, I feel that it's because they don't really care too much about like white supremacy. They talk about white supremacy, but it's not really an issue. And with black women, we take it upon ourselves to like, we gotta fight the power, we gotta protect black men, and so that is another reason why we're not so open to other people like that. And that's a Blackistan mentality. It's like we fight, like, say for instance with the protest, black women is out there more than black men.
Yeah, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense.
Right. And that's the thing. It's like they don't care as much as we do. but we take it upon ourselves like you gotta stick to your black man, and so that's why another reason why, to me, in my opinion, why a lot of black women were isolated, because it's like we have to fight the system, we have to protect black men, and they don't feel the same way.
Well, black women are going to have to dig deep and let that go. They're going to have to let that go. Because I hear them, I see them online. We do this and that for the black man and we get nothing in return. And I don't feel sorry, because you know what? They got a choice. They can stop. They got to pull it within. They got to dig deep within to say, I'm not getting I'm not getting reciprocation. Damn it. I'm tired. It's time for me to rest, be happy, and just F it, and be my own agent, change my social status, get along with people, make my friends, and whoever don't love me, oh well. Let me ask you, I'm going to ask a very controversial question. I thought about doing a whole separate video for this. This is going to sound a certain way. Black women, we gonna be vulnerable right now. Do you want, truly deep within you, do you want the world to love you?
Well, I'm like you, Cerebral, and I really genuinely believe that everybody's not gonna like you, because I don't like everybody. I don't love everybody. So the world is not gonna like that. That's impossible. We just have to accept that.
That's true.
I'm a person, and I look at it like if I don't feel somebody, if I don't feel their spirit, I'm not gonna talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have this. Please do a show about this. I would love to call up, because I don't want to divert from the topic, but I must say this really quick, and I'm going to have somebody else call. I watch channels where you would have black people in these foreign countries, or they would just stop random people, and they're like, do you like black people? Would you date a black girl? Would you date a black guy? And it's very embarrassing, and it's like we're begging people for acceptance, we're begging people to love us, and that's not going to happen. Everybody's not going to like you. And I had made comments on there, and people got upset. It's not that. It's just that they have our culture. They do our music, they do our dance, and they don't like us. And that's a whole other topic. But everybody's not going to like you.
Yeah, I don't like it.
As a human being, I don't like everybody.
Yeah, I don't like it. They make it seem like we aliens. Like, how I get the whole. Some people have videos how to approach a black woman. I totally understand why it's done, but I don't like it when people make it seem like we are alien, or look, I'm a woman. I want the same respect that you would give the next woman. Treat me the same. I desire romance. I like to cuddle. I give love. I'm not some alien, some type of different woman. I hurt the same. I bleed the same. I love the same. And when I said, do you want, now I wasn't speaking for all black women. I'm going to ask every black woman this question. When I said, do you want the world to love you? Because I think there are some black women, we feel like the world don't really know who some of us are. They got this idea of what they think. But I'm a sweetheart, baby. And you would know that if, in some cases, the other groups stop being closed off. Some black women have some very sweet, amazing souls, and the world is missing out by not getting to know that. So I'm gonna take the next call. Okay, from okay, they hung up. Okay, I'm gonna take the next call. All right.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye. Oh, so sweet. Okay, so the next call was coming in from Texas. Come on, Texas. Yes, Rose K says we need, okay, I got Florida now. Texas, call after Florida. Oh God, I got, Lord, I can't get it on speaker. Hold on. Colorado calling in. Ah! Okay, hold on. Lord, I don't know. Okay, I got these calls. Okay, I got. Hold on for a second. Hello.
Hi, Cerebral.
Yes. What state are you calling from?
I'm calling from Colorado. It's Letty. I emailed you once.
Okay, hey Letty. Okay, Colorado. The other call from Hollywood, Florida. Call back again. The phones got mixed up. Okay, from Colorado. So, how are you, Letty?
I'm doing well.
Okay, so the topic of tonight, I played the pink pill, and it's about basically if you want to swirl, you got to have good relationships, at least with the mother or sisters, or just, if you don't respect the women of his race, if you are prejudiced, then you really shouldn't be swirling. And I said too, if you don't even like biracial people, you shouldn't be making them. It don't make no sense. So what is your thoughts on this about black women forming relationships with women who are not black, especially the men who you are dating who are not black?
Well, I mean, you're absolutely right. It is necessary. I mean, because those are the women that they come from. So
Yeah.
if you do want to have a good relationship with the man, you're obviously going to have a good relationship with the women that he's related to.
Okay. I totally agree.
That's how I see it. I mean, that's the same thing where I always think it's strange that black men love to tell you how much they don't like white men, but they want to date white women, and that makes no sense.
Yeah, and I'm like, your child, hey, their granddaddy, their cousins, their aunties are gonna be these people, and would you want them to grow up hating their grandfather and cousins and stuff because they're not black, but yet they're half of them people. So
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you got to have some kind of good social skill and rapport. I mean, that's just the end of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've swirled, and a majority of the men that I've dated have been white, and I've gotten along with their relatives with no problem.
Yes. Yes. So the women listening, yeah, this isn't just about white women. I know that is the majority in this country, but this applies to all the men. They're women, whether they're Asian, Hispanic, Arabic, Indian, whatever. So, what do you think about the issue of some women who don't like biracials, but you're gonna have biracial babies? So
I mean, and honestly, that's ridiculous to not like them. If that's the case, then why are they creating them? I mean, and those children are just as much black as they are white, and that's actually a way for you to get along with both sides of the family also, since you are going to be sharing DNA and lineage, and you're combining two separate races.
yeah. I mean, I did read in the chat, the ones who've been raised by their hating daddies and mamas who might think they're superior. That is an issue, but they're not all like that.
Oh, so. Not at all. I mean, and hey, if everyone's always going to have someone who doesn't like them. So, some people crack me up with they have certain family members who they don't get along with. That's everybody, though.
Okay. Now,
when you put race aside.
The previous caller brought up, sometimes we can be, some of us, not me, but, some black women can be very defensive because of wanting to protect themselves because they feel society is against us. So I asked the question, and I will be asking this. Deep within you, do you want, as a black woman, would you like it, and do you desire to have the world love you?
Well, I mean, yeah, I do understand where that woman is coming from, because we do seem to always get the backhand of society, in a sense. But, I mean, it's like you said, now, and like Crystal and Kerrigan says, sometimes you just got to choose character over color. It's not always about, I want to stay with one particular group of people, and, that's who I want to mate with. Sometimes that's just not happening, especially when you look at the current state of what Black America is in right now.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot more Black women are educated, and it's hard for them to find suitable mates.
That's true.
And they're same ethnic group. So hey, and there's nothing wrong with dating out. I mean, if you find somebody you mesh with, that's who you mesh with.
I was looking in the chat, and someone said that you would teach. I think it was Danielle said, I would teach my biracial child to have their own spaces. You know what I thought about, though? It just came to me is how if two biracial people get together, or if a bunch of women who are biracial are only hanging out with other biracials, then that's a problem too. Then they get accused of being colorist. They're trying to preserve the mixedness and F them, and we hate them. That's just some things that I've seen before. So, okay. I'm going to take the next call, okay?
Okay. Well, it was good speaking to you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Call
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tamia.
I got, okay, these calls, turn me down, Tamia.
Oh, there we go. Sorry about that.
Okay. All right. Hold on now. Hey, something's going on. Your favorite bed wench in the comments section. Let me say this. I don't stand for any ignorance. When I had my post about Kamala Harris and them nasty comments was coming in, I won't vote for her just because her mother, she mixed. I'm like, honey, I'm not tolerating that on my channel. I have mixed race grandparents and relatives. I've had like 2 white men come in because they know I'm down for the swirl, and I addressed a lot of stuff with Black men and women, and they thought they could say something racist, and they thought I'm probably going to laugh with them with it. No, I'm not tolerating that either. You got the wrong, I don't know what type of swirler you think I am, but I don't play that either. Okay, so.
Exactly.
Okay, so, Tamia, tell me, what is your opinion on the topic of tonight?
Well, one, I think it's a great topic, and I was actually talking about this with some friends earlier this week. I think basically CK and what you're talking about is dead on. I know a lot of Black women don't like to hear it, but that whole defense mechanism where all white people are out to get us, everybody hates us, it's not true. It's not true. And in all honesty, if Black women, I posted a comment earlier, if a lot of us in general, of course not everybody, but if a lot of Black women were really honest with themselves, they're just flat out rude. And that's not going to get you anywhere. Like the example earlier where you were talking about, maybe you are dating someone that isn't Black, him white, Hispanic, or whatever the race nationality is. You can't go over to somebody's house, say, for example, they invite you for dinner, come in the door, looking at people all crazy, all upside their head. It's not going to work. Just as the same with most Black women, let somebody come in your house, you invite the mother over for dinner. They come in your house, looking at your walls, looking at your furniture, looking at your food with poor attitude, terrible facial expressions. You're going to go off. You're not going to appreciate it. It's a form of disrespect.
Yeah.
So I guess what I think a lot of us are missing is that not everybody is out to get us. And it's okay to be nice to people. And maybe I see with rose-colored glasses, I'm just a generally nice person. It's okay to say hello to somebody. The reason I think a lot of people see us or those stereotypes are still there, it's almost like in just conversations and talking with different people, it almost sounds like a trophy that we have to continue or live up to those stereotypes, live up to those standards. I hear it so much. They already hate us, they don't like us, or I'm not speaking to them, or I'm not going over there with those white people or the Hispanic people or whoever.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, and I think it's kind of sad because I think for many of us as a culture, and of course, again, this is not everybody, but as a culture, I think we don't really realize how much as Black women we shut ourselves off from so many opportunities by having that kind of mind, be it friendships, work opportunities, everything. You're shutting yourself off from the world. You're shutting yourself off from life experiences, and it's sad. You know, I myself, being a girl from Texas, trust me, I know what it's like to be the only Black girl going into the ballet, or being the only Black girl walking into like a mosh pit or whatever. But it's fun. You'll meet so many people just by sitting down, saying hello to somebody, and you can hear some of the most interesting stories in your life. Have some of your lifelong friends. One of my very best friends growing up, I had moved. I was brand new to the school. Oddly enough, actually the Black girls that were not nice to me.
Mm-hmm.
And white girl, my best friend, I've known her since the 3rd grade. All it was she came over, was nice to me, said hello, and we're still friends to this day. And I'm 40 years old. So
Wow. You know, when you mention sometimes we act like the stereotype as a defense thing, I did that when I was younger. I remember it. I was wearing some capris and my shape was looking really good. And this guy, he said something. He was actually cute, but you know, this was at the store, and I kind of just brushed him off and didn't respond like type of thing. But and I feel so bad. I always have flashbacks about it because he was so embarrassed because he was trying to shoot a shot and I shot him down in front of people. I didn't mean to. The thing is, I was so damn nervous that that's why I did that. Like I brushed him off because I was nervous as shit. And he didn't know that though. He just assumed there go that Black girl with an attitude and I'm embarrassed in front of everyone. And then I came back in the store and he had this just look of disappointment and embarrassment. And I wanted to say something so bad, but I didn't say, I didn't know what to do. So I didn't say anything. And, I remember when I was being treated so mean one time when I was younger, and I decided to look mean, like just give this really nasty look. Because in my mind, I felt if I look like a bitch, they're not going to fuck with me. So I did that, and it actually worked, to be honest. But I didn't like it. That's not who I am. And I only did that for like a couple of days, but that's not who I am. I'm a little soft butterfly. But unfortunately, when you grow up in Blackistan, the boys and the girls will try you, they test you, they treat you like demonic spirits against you. And you know, a lot of Black girls go through that and they get defensive and all this other stuff. So
and you know, you're right, and I know a lot of it is learned because you know I'm a person. I have friends from one end of the rainbow to the next. When it comes to men, we're talking about dating, like you mentioned earlier. I see them like Skittles. You know, I taste the rainbow. I don't have a preference that way either. But I do know and I understand through a lot of the friends that I have also that is a very hardcore taught, I guess, mind frame, if that makes sense. You know, you have to act this way. You have to act tough. All white people are the devil. You know, they're out to get us. Never trust them. Don't be nice to them. And I do that's something that we've learned as a culture over time, and it's just drilled in us. I almost even want to, I often wonder if it's something that is suppressed in our mind, in our DNA, that it's so drilled in. But I think if we as Black women are going to see change for ourselves, if we're going to see better for ourselves, we have to do something to change our thought process, because I mean, even if it's not for the dating experience, like your example where you sat down and you were explaining to that lady that you wanted to go to Venice and you had a great conversation.
mm-hmm.
We're missing out on those kind of experiences in life, all because in our mind we feel like we have to have such a nasty attitude about people. And I've had a couple of people even tell me, you know what, black and white on both sides of the spectrum. By us just being friends, they learn, oh, you know what, not all white people are, part of the KKK or some hate group, and they're sneaking out to get me, to drag me behind a truck. And likewise, I've met white people that have figured out by hanging out with me, oh, not all black women are ghetto and hood rats and what have you. And they have an understanding. So I like platforms like yours, Cerebral, the Pink Pill, because it's actually a way to open people's eyes. I know growing up, maybe a lot of the stuff wasn't around, but hopefully as time goes on, we can change this, because, there are always going to be people that don't like you, no matter what color you are, nationality, and that's fine. But I feel like everybody deserves respect. When we're talking about the Bible, it says love everyone, respect everyone, but it doesn't mean everybody has to like you. It doesn't mean everybody has to like me, but I at least have to show some type of respect for them. And to be honest, that's what most people want. Just respect me as a human being. And like you said, I'm black, I'm a woman, I'm not a freaking alien.
Yeah.
I'm a person.
So what do you think about, you think this whole defense and attitude thing, is it because the black woman feels she has to be a soldier? So everywhere some of us go, we carry that soldier thing. I'm always in this fight. I got to be the soldier, because a soldier is not feminine. It's tough. It's ready to go if you come at me. And do you think the black woman has been trained to be a soldier, and by who?
You know what? I would say yes. And kind of like I was saying earlier, like it's almost a trophy, like it's something to brag about. I'm tough, it's I'm strong. Don't mess with her, whatever. Naturally, I'm not like that. I'm a very bubbly, happy-go-lucky, everybody get along, kumbaya kind of person. But I think that's taught really by our own selves. Yes, part of it is maybe a defense mechanism against the world, because, let's be honest, there are racist people, no matter where you go. So, yes, I've gone into those stores, or I've gone to those concerts, or wherever, and had people turn around and look at me with their noses up, like, oh my gosh, she's white. Same as I'm sure many people in the chat listening gone into that store and had people following you around, even though you've got a pocket and a bank account full of money, just because of what you look like.
Yeah, I've experienced it too.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens. I'm in Texas. I've had cops, try to pull me over, and hey, it's a black dark street. I'm not pulling over. I'm driving by myself. I'm driving somewhere safe. And because of the type of cars I just so happen to like, of course, I'm a drug dealer, or I'm renting drugs for my car, and for my boyfriend, or whatever. So it definitely happens. But on the flip side, I also think it's taught to us by our own community, by our own mothers, by our own families, our own communities. And you hear it so much. And we're so, yes, other cultures have it, where they have their own stereotypes of every other culture. But just from my experience, what I can see is that for whatever reason, us as black people, there is something that it is just so god-awful for us to step out of the, as we say, Blackistan. It is just horrid and wretched if you date someone that is not black. Oh my God. I ate a bagel. I will never forget this in high school, standing at the bus stop. I was eating a freaking bagel for breakfast, and everybody was like, oh, you want to be white.
Are you serious? For eating a bagel?
Yep.
Eating a bagel?
I've always been called Oreo my entire life. White girl, of course. I want to be white. I'm not black. If you look at my name, honey, no, I'm as pretty much as black as they get. I don't sound like it, but I'm a freaking Nigerian. My grandpa's a Mexican. So I'm a mosh pit, like I tell people. But yeah, I wanted to be white, or I think I'm white because I ate a bagel.
Girl, this is too much.
I was on the swim team. I'm sorry. I suck at basketball. I love it to death, but I suck. I mean, Oreo, white girl, wannabe, you freaking name it.
Oh.
Of course, since my best friend was a white girl, then my other best friend was a Mexican girl. She was Mexican and white. But hey, these were the people that treated me nice. They were cool with me. We had fun. But what's wrong with you trying new food? I hear this still to this day, and it's sad because in my mind, I'm like, why are people 40 and 50-year-old people think something's wrong with you because you like Thai food?
Are you serious?
We teach, but I hear it all the time. So people my age, they teach their kids, and I hear it all the time, and this is not abnormal. We all hear this. You're telling your kid there's something wrong with them because they like, say, technology. They like IT. You're teaching your child that there's something wrong with them because, hey, I love Pink Floyd to death. I like Queen. You're weird because you like classic rock. There's nothing wrong with liking music.
Classic rock is the best.
We can do other things. Yes, we can do other things besides listen to R&B, play basketball, play football, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with us doing that as well. We're freaking good at it. If we're good at it, you're good at it. But there's nothing wrong with doing something else that is outside of that box. And I think that's part of the reason we stay in that box, because we don't try. We're scared. I think I saw that in the chat earlier. It's the fear of not being accepted. Trust me, nothing that you do, whether you drink wine versus a Schlitz malt liquor versus you smoke a Cuban cigar or whatever else, the music you listen to or whatever, nothing will change the color of your skin. So it does not make you any less black to get up on a platform and talk about these kinds of issues or date somebody that is outside of your culture, outside of your race. You're still going to be black or whatever you are. And I think until we change that mindset, we're always going to have those stereotypes because that's all they see.
You know,
that's all the world sees.
I like food from different cultures. I enjoy cooking stuff from different cultures. Hey, Vanetta, I like baklava. I love Indian food. You know, that's just some things. I remember being so hurt when I was, I forgot how old I was, maybe 18 or 19. I wore a long black trench coat. I had a pair of fitting nice jeans with some black loafers and a polka dot casual black and white top, pearl studded earrings to match the polka dots, and my hair was straight, makeup done. I swear I had white women looking at me from my feet to my head, white guys smiling, and I went to the gas station in the hood, and the black guy was out his car staring me down, and then he said, "She's dressed like a white girl," and he busted out laughing. And I was so hurt at that time, like, oh man, because I'm like, because my outfit was preppy, but it was cute. It was really good. It was one of my best preppy outfits I ever put together. And but then when he dissed me, because I went in the hood, and then he dissed the crap out of me, like, she dressed like a white girl, and I was mad. Like, why you gonna diss me like that? And I look cute. And when white guys wear fitted caps and stuff, don't nobody say nothing about that. But if I'm dressing was preppy and not urban looking, oh, she trying to be a white woman now. It's like, man, please.
Why exactly? Why am I trying to be white? Because I have on one of my favorite things in high school. I'll never forget. I was the Old Navy flip flop queen. Why am I trying to be white? Why am I trying to be white? Because I'm wearing something that stereotypically is not what you see black women wear. I'm pretty tall, and so I have pretty big feet. So at the time, again, I'm telling my age, Huarache, this is when Jordans were out. Okay, tennis shoes, to me, based on my frame, I'm really tall and have little dangly, skinny ankles. So they look like clonkers on my feet. They don't look attractive. But, hey, some kids, they looked really great on me, so I put them on. But why does that make you preppy? Why does, or make you want to be white? That's silly, and I think it's sad that is what forever seems like we have taught our children. That's why we can't get away from that, and I think it's sad. That's why I'm glad that my mom was pretty open-minded. We lived in a neighborhood that was very diverse. So where people, what was funny was on the side of town where I lived, people thought it was the hood. It was nowhere near the hood. It's just a mosh pit of people. So one of my really good friends growing up, she was Cambodian, so that's how I learned to eat a lot of different foods. The people across the street from me were Vietnamese. We also had somebody that was like straight up Creole. I mean, it was just some of any and everybody. We had a family from Pakistan, like in our cul-de-sac. So it was great. So I did get that advantage of growing up with that. I understand a lot of Black women don't have that, but I don't know what can change that. But I really look at it and I think it's sad because our attitudes, people don't want to hear it. And I've heard people tell me, well, everybody can't talk like a white girl like you, Tanita. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? It's not even that. Yeah, my voice can get kind of squeaky and high-pitched, but I know some very well-educated, very well-spoken Black women that have very raspy, deep voices, but they're not rude. I mean, what's wrong with just not being rude to people? And that's the one thing that bothers me.
Hold on. Who did you say had very
not rude.
Who had them deep voices?
I'm saying some people that I know that I've worked with, they're Black women, and they have very deep, sultry, raspy voices. But a lot of times when I say something to people in this kind of on this topic about being rude or the way you talk to people, a lot of times I get a response is basically, well, everybody can't talk like a white girl like you. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? That doesn't, the way my voice sounds doesn't mean I talk like a white girl. This is just my voice. But it's like I was always taught, my grandmother would always say this, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
You know what? And I want to say one thing that used to irritate me. When you speak proper English, it's not speaking white. Black people, I have a message real quick. You have been in America for centuries. If you don't know how to speak English, it doesn't matter. You haven't spoken some African languages in centuries. If you can't even speak English and you were born and raised here, that's a problem. I never got that whole Ebonics thing. I don't understand Ebonics. I don't speak Ebonics and never will. You should know how to speak English. This is your first language. You can say whatever you want about slavery. You were born here. This is the language y'all should speak, that y'all are speaking, okay? That's just what it is. So stop making excuses that you can't speak properly or form a sentence because, oh, that ain't my native. You haven't been to Africa in centuries, okay? Everyone was brought up with English over here, so stop making excuses. So
you're right. And I'm sorry, I know I'm taking up call space. I apologize, but this is such a passionate topic of mine. I'm glad you're talking about it. But one of the best examples that I've ever seen in my life, it's not in a good way, but it's something that I've tried to talk to, say, my younger cousins about, some younger people about, is attitude. It's one thing to talk. Everybody talks loosely when, for example, they're at home with their friends. They're at a party, they're with family, playing dominoes, whatever. But when you come into the workplace, that's a whole different setting. Or when you're out, say, at a party, at a gathering, at some type of fundraiser event, that's a whole different setting.
yes.
I worked with this young lady, Black girl, very educated. When I say top-notch at her job, she was the top. Unfortunately, her attitude and the way she spoke to people is what cost her a promotion. A promotion that really the guy that got it, excuse me, cerebral, he's a dickwad. He's stupid. But they were the most qualified. His attitude was not that great, but the difference was, and everybody, of course, was, oh, it's because he's white and she's Black and blah, blah, blah. No, it was her attitude. She would come to meetings. Well, no, just, again, you can disagree with people, but when you're talking to somebody and you disagree, and we're talking about at work, there's a way to handle that. But she had a horrible attitude. She had a disposition. She would look at people crazy. And this was a position where she would be meeting with clients, going to company functions, basically being a spokesperson. So they had to make a decision. This is the face of our company. Who do we want that face to be? Well, unfortunately, because of her poor attitude, and again, people kept saying it was black, it was because of her voice, she was thinking she's ghetto. No, she wasn't ghetto. Not in a typical sense when you think ghetto. The way she talked to people was ghetto. She was rude as hell, to be frank. She was rude. She was just flat rude. Even though she was smart, even though she knew her stuff, she was punctual. She was not a lazy employee. She was just rude to people, and that's what cost her the position. So I guess I'll stop yakking. I apologize, but
Okay. I hope that my language has been okay tonight. I do have empathy. I hope I don't sound nasty. Okay. Oh, thank you, though. I'm going to take the next call. Thank you. This was a wonderful conversation. So many people love you in the chat. Thank you. Okay. Bye. Okay, from Hollywood, Florida. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. Also, thank you, Sun Girl, for the donation. I'm sorry that happened to you. And Annette Wilder. Crystalline Carazon is not going to be on here, but she made a wonderful video tonight. Check it out on her page, and that's what I'm responding to. Okay, so tell me what you think about this topic tonight.
About the topic about when it comes to the white woman?
It applies to all women. Any man you date and he's not black, you're gonna have to. I can hear something in the background.
How about now? Can you still hear?
Okay, it's better. It's like if you're gonna talk to men of different backgrounds, then you need to be able to get along with the women of his group. Now, I'm not saying you're gonna get along with all of them, but the mother, the sister, the cousins, women in just his group, period, because you're bonding with him. Like I said earlier, you want to learn how to make his favorite food growing up that his mother would cook. Surprise him by learning the language and showing that you appreciate his culture just like he appreciates your culture. And that you can't hate his mama. And, it's just not going to work if you are prejudiced and racist or prejudiced. It's not gonna work. If you hate biracials, it's not gonna work. You can try, but it's just not healthy. So, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I feel like there's no hatred that's there. Oh, by the way, I'm like a Haitian American, so I come from a Haitian background.
I think I spoke to you before.
Oh no, first time I called.
Parlez-vous français?
No, I don't. I'm
Okay.
fully American. I'm very Americanized. It's sad.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But the way that we view people that are not Haitian, it's like we're not going to go out of our way for you. What we notice is that a lot of people don't really accept our culture. They like to say, oh, well, you're Haitian. Well, they always like to point out the voodoo, or we eat cat, we do this, we do that. So we're very reserved when it comes to people from the outside. So I have to see where you're coming from.
Excuse me.
What are your intentions?
You said that people said y'all eat cats or cows?
Yes.
The cat? Like, I never heard of y'all eating cat. I always heard that was a stereotype. Wow.
Yeah, that was a big thing when I was growing up, that we ate cat. That was a surprise to me, too. I was like, I never heard of that.
Wow.
Yes, but, your intentions. What are your intentions? We're not going to go out of our way to for other people. We have to see, who you are as a person. I feel like when it comes to black women in general, the reason why we don't like to really get along with other races of women is because they expect us to usually make the first move. There's a sense of entitlement that's there. Like, no, I have to really see how you are as a person, you know?
Yes.
And, like, sometimes they want us as a friend because they want to be seen as the pretty friend, you know what I mean? And then, or sometimes they like to place us as, you know, that one black friend. I have that one black friend.
But that happens, but you can't say that for everyone. I mean, I get it. It's not about butt kissing, but do you open yourself up to be friends with anybody?
Yeah, I'm very open to that, but I have to see where your intentions go. Like, I had Indian friends before. Like, I had a white friend, I guess, but I just won't go out of my way to be friends with them. I have to see how you are as a person.
Yeah.
You know? I feel like even as when we're dating men of other races, we're like that too with the men.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of these black women. I'm a human, but I've never had that victim mentality. That whole stuff I used to see black people do growing up, I don't feel less than. I've never felt I was less attractive. I never felt like the world hates me. I'm not walking in the room with that kind of attitude. If you don't like me, then that's your problem. Racism and all that is your problem if you're racist. And I sit back and observe people. I look at their character and it makes me, I look at how other people treat other people, and I just study them, and I'm like, do I want this person in my life or anything when I talk to them? But I'm just saying there are some women who, because they believe they're hated automatically, they won't even give a friendship a chance. And like I said, even some of the other women are closed off too, because some of them think we hate them too. And that lack of communication is like I mentioned earlier. I remember the apartment complex I lived at. It was this group. I don't know if they were Sri Lankan or something, but it's like they would never talk. And my African neighbors, they would never talk. And I'm like, if people just talked and said hi and had a conversation, they would see that,
Right.
you can be friends with each other.
Right, but that's the thing I don't understand is that I am someone that likes to say hi, good morning to other people. But I noticed that even because I live in Florida, right? You would think people are more friendly down here. But I don't know if it's because there's so much people from New York, New Jersey coming down here, and they have such a mean sort of attitude. But they look at you like you're crazy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You're just trying to say hi, good morning. You see somebody in the sidewalk, good morning, hi, how are you doing? Nothing, no reply.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're kind of closed up a little bit. It's like, okay, why did they say hi to me? Do they not feel comfortable because of the color of my skin? What is it?
Some people are like that. And I say, the hell with them. I pray for you, and just their energy, you don't got to be bothered with them. But some of them are like that. Sometimes some people could be having a bad day. They might be going through something. Some of them weren't raised correctly to have manners. It's a mixture of different things. Some people have anxiety problems. They're very antisocial. So they get afraid of people. When they try to talk, they get all afraid and closed off. So it's a mixture of different things. So.
Okay, I do have like a confession to make. I don't know if it's like more of a Haitian thing, but when I grew up, my Haitian parents, my family always told me, like, don't try to be friends with Hispanic people. Like, always keep your guard up when it comes to Hispanic people.
Any specific group, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Dominican, like what kind?
They always said Dominicans and Puerto Ricans are people that hate themselves, and that Cubans are very nice people. It was so strange. I said, why Cubans? They said, oh, Cubans, they understand they're black. Like, they're not going to be mean to you. They're not going to mention skin color with you. They're not going to say anything. You won't find any microaggressions with them. You know what I mean?
Well.
So that was the thing when I grew up.
I don't know.
When it came to Hispanic people, to really be careful with them.
Well, I have heard about the Dominican thing. I know I've seen a lot of Puerto Ricans. A lot of Puerto Ricans seem kind of cool in New York, at least. Some of them are more welcoming than Dominicans, but Dominicans do have a bad,
Right, in New
a bad,
York.
you know. Yeah, New York is like different. Every
It's so
the
different.
vibe is different. The relationship with Hispanics and Black people in the South is not like the North. Trust me, it's just not. I mean, every state is different. Um, but Dominicans have a very bad rep when it comes to the whole anti-black
Yes.
thing. My thing is, I don't
Even
have.
as a Haitian, I think there's a thing going on between like Haitians and Dominicans and how we just don't mess with each other.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It's a big thing.
I've heard about that, and you know, some Dominicans are okay, and you got some who. The whole thing about being black thing, I don't have an issue if they claim they're mixtures because a lot of them are. I mean, I understand, but that's a whole nother topic for a different video. But all I will say is just treat everyone differently because not everyone's the same. That's all I can say on
Right.
that. So, okay.
Right. To keep an open mind.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to take the next call.
All right, then.
All right. Bye.
Good night.
Night. I got to learn how to say goodbye in French. I got to learn. Hold on. Is it au revoir? Au revoir? I think that is goodbye in French. Au revoir. Okay, so the phone lines is open. I did say I would take 4 calls. I think that was maybe 5 calls. I'm not sure. So come on and call in. Anybody? Ooh, Desiree says, I went out last night and met a fine Arabic guy. After talking to him, my black woman friend turned her nose up at me and asked what I was doing. I shook my head or something. We have a date Friday. Honey, your friend is hating. What you doing? I going on a date? That's what I'm gonna say. I'm going on a date. Arabic men are some very, very attractive. A number. But watch your friends, your so-called friends, no matter what race they are. You know. Oh, you said how do you kefek kefek kefek. The only thing I know in Arabic is habibi, habibi. That means my love or my darling or something. My habibi, habibi or something. Oh God. But yeah, she should be happy that you're opening yourself up to love. Always watch out for frenemies and jealousy. And you know what? Sometimes women like that will be the same ones that will secretly try to have to do, you know what, with him, especially if he's well to do. Okay? Or she might try to scare you and say he's going to try to beat you or make you wear a hijab and all that. I'm not saying sometimes they don't want you to if it gets really serious. But find out these things if y'all get serious. You know, what does he want? Does he want you to convert? Is he fine with your faith? What does he think about FGM? What's his favorite meal? All types of stuff, you know. Does he want marriage and all of that? Okay, so I'm going to wait a good 3 more minutes. If I don't get a call, I'm going to end this live. Ah. Yeah, Danielle, you have to watch every person in your life. See the good and the bad in them no matter what their race is. And you know, you can make a decision if you feel you need them in your life. Wow, so while I'm waiting on the call, tell me, Desiree, okay, so he's Arabic. Where did you meet him? You said hi in his language. And I remember I was wearing some eyeliner, and an Arabic guy, he liked that. He said, "Oh, the women in my country." But you know, women in India wear eyeliner as well, and maybe some parts of Africa, but I know Arabic women and women from India are well known for eyeliner, but I love it. And I think some Ethiopian women like eyeliner. I wear eyeliner as well. It's really beautiful. But okay, so you was at the bar. Oh, he's 29. Wow, what kind of Arabic man is he? Is he Egyptian? Is he Moroccan? Is he, where is he from? Okay, you says he walked in and caught my eye right away. He stopped to talk to me on his way out. Oh man, wow. Oh, he's Lebanese. Like Yusef Soma, you Lebanese. Okay. Well, where are y'all going for your date? Make sure you don't wear anything too tight, okay? Like look your best, but don't wear nothing too tight. Ask the important questions, but don't dominate the conversation. Um, get a feel of who he is, does he want I don't know if you should ask him right away if he wants to be married. Just light conversation and having fun. Okay, I got a call from Florida. Hello?
Hi, Cerebral.
Hi. Who's this?
Hi.
Who's this?
Yes. So I met this guy last weekend. One of my coworkers invited me out, and so I went out, and he had a bunch of friends there. I had never met them before, so it was like my first time. And, we were having a good time, whatever, and I saw the guy walk in, and then he went and sat by himself. I was just like, oh my God, he's so handsome. He's here by himself. And then his friend came, and as soon as his friend came, they got up to leave. I guess he was just meeting him there. And we locked eyes on the way out, and I said hi to him, and he came up to me and said hi. I was like, Kisek. And he was like, oh, are you serious?
Desiree, give me 1 second. Goat. Goat, you said Arabic men sexualize black women. I'm sorry, goat. No one has sexualized black women more than black men. Have you not seen the music videos?
You said it before I could.
I mean, you can't be serious with that. And all men look at women. It's not unnatural for them to desire us if we're beautiful to them. Are we just a sexual object? Of course not. But I don't play that trying to guilt black women. They ain't doing nothing black men ain't doing. Black men got all these out of wedlock
Especially when
kids.
it's a mutual sexual attraction too. Like, come on. I'm not a victim here. I was attracted to him too. So.
Just be careful, period. No matter who you deal with, just be careful. That's the best thing I could tell you, no matter what his race is. But, okay. So tell me, Desiree. Okay, so you said, what is it, Kefek? Kefek? And oh my gosh, did his eyes light up like what?
Yes, his friend did actually, because his friend was Syrian, and that's their language. He's Lebanese, and his friend was like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "Are you Syrian?" I was like, "Well, I told him when I was younger, one of my friends growing up, she was Syrian, and I had a boss who was Arabic, and she was like, when you get to work, say this to him, he'll get you some points at work." So I was like, "Okay, cool," and I've always remembered it since then. And so yeah, he was really surprised when I said that to him, and I told him about my friend growing up, and that goes into what Crystal and Karazan was saying, is, having friends of different cultures, you learn things. And then when you meet people or men of other cultures, you're able to share that experience with them because you understand their culture. You know what I mean? So it's really important. If I never had that friend, I wouldn't have been able to say that to him. And who knows, it's not that big of a deal, but it does help bridge the gap between people of different cultures.
Okay, so what does he, is he... Is he tall? Is he short? Is his hair?
No, he's not that tall. He's probably about 5'10", I'd say.
That's
so
tall still.
Oh my God.
I'm 5'9". I'm tall, so That's a good height. Wow. So he was talking to you. He got your number, and you said y'all are going out tomorrow.
Yes, yes, and it's funny because it's like when a black woman is talking to a man of another race, everybody kind of quietly watches to see what's going to happen. And
Oh my
everyone's
God.
looking. And I didn't
Yes.
even realize it. And after I talked to him later on, they're like, "What you doing over there talking to him?" I was like, "Why wouldn't I be? He's fine." I was like, "You don't like men of different races?" Girl, no. Why would I? I said, "Well, you're missing out."
Okay.
And that was it. I'm not going to try to convince anyone of anything.
Wow. So, are you nervous? Is this the first time you've gone out with an Arabic man?
Yeah, it is. Well, I kind of talked to one a little bit when I was younger, growing up. My Arabic friend, her cousin, actually. So, not really. I'm not really nervous. I mean, it's just a friendship thing. If anything, it might not be a soulmate or anything like that, but I can still learn things from him. So I think it's good to make friends, and you can learn things from them.
How do you know he's not the soulmate? He could be.
He could be, but I don't want to put too much pressure on it, I go back and listen to this video, and I'm like, oh, that guy, he was such a whatever. But I want to enjoy myself. I don't want to have that pressure and that stress. I want to just have fun and talk to him and get to know him.
Okay, so hopefully everything goes good. The best advice I can give you, don't anything you would do with any other man, just don't have sex with this man. I'm not saying you would, but especially other cultures, no. Get to know him. Find out, does he want a wife? Does he want to get married? Does he want children? What is his beliefs as far as women? What is his views? Is he more Americanized, or does he still hold on to his culture? What is his culture? Because not all Muslims are the same. A lot of people think all Muslim countries are the same, and they're not. So, just find out, and you'll do fine. You will do fine. Everything gonna work out for you.
Yeah, if not for nothing, I would have made a new friend.
Yes. So I hope everything goes well.
Thank you. Me
Thank
too.
you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay. Man, Danielle, you are 5'1". You so little. I did not know you was 5'1". Oh my God. You're so tiny. Oh, so cute. Okay. Okay. So. Oh, I got a call from Connecticut. I never get calls from Connecticut. Hello?
Hi, Cerebral.
Hi. I swear I think you're my first Connecticut call.
Yes, this is Sierra. I was in the chat. I asked you a question earlier.
Oh, Sierra. Oh my God.
Yes,
What was the question?
No, it was about, because it's really funny. I literally had my first, I guess you could say, interracial date with this Persian guy. And then I watch a lot of YouTube, so a lot of the videos that were, recommended to me were kind of about that whole, interracial dating or marrying and breeding yourself out. And then I had to remind myself, why am I worrying about hypothetical children that aren't even here yet? And about breeding out when it's just a date. Is my first time, relax, So that was my question.
I just look, you are one woman. You cannot save the black race. There are plenty of black babies that are still being made. Not only that, a lot of children with men who aren't white tend to still come out looking like American black babies. Not only that, if your kids end up with somebody black, them grandkids gonna look black. I'm not saying they have to, but you can only think about you. It's your life. You cannot save everybody. And so yeah, you don't need to feel guilty. So you said he's Persian. Have y'all gone on a date yet, or you're about to go on a date with him?
We already went on a date.
Was it
Yeah, it was probably one of the best dates I've had, like, at all.
really? Where did y'all go?
Yes. Well, I'm in Atlanta, so we went to like this really really nice Italian cafe in Midtown, and it had like outdoor seating. And before I even got there, he like organized so I make sure I knew where I was parking, so it was free. And he like recommended all these drinks and food, so I didn't have to like go through the menu, which I thought was nice because it kind of like took the pressure off of me having to figure out what I wanted because he came with suggestions and he filled the entire time with conversation too, which I like.
Okay. Man, Persian. I'm trying to think. Persia is is that next to Iran? I'm not sure. But that's Arabic as well, right? I think.
I have no
Middle Eastern.
idea. But it was he was the first one, and he messaged me like probably 2 days before the date, so he quickly like wanted to meet up and like get to know me and stuff like that, which was also surprising to me, but it was surprisingly pleasant.
Okay. Persians are Iranian. Okay, so yeah, they're Iranian. All right, how old is he?
He's 25, so just a year older than me.
Okay, is he in school or out of school?
He's back in school for his MBA, but he's working as well. He works. He's an engineer.
Oh.
And
okay.
and he went to Tech, so it's like one of the more, I guess you could say, prestigious schools in Georgia. It's for like the engineer, types, the technical types. That's where they go.
Does he give off a lot of? Oh, sorry. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Does he give off a lot of masculine energy?
I would say it's masculine in the way where you would expect someone who's asking you out to lead you, like lead the date, and be the one to make the recommendations and make the suggestions and say when they want to meet you again. So I would say like masculine in that way, like being confident in making those recommendations and suggestions, but not anything like super masculine or aggressive that I could pick up on yet.
So how many dates have y'all been on? How long have y'all been talking?
It's literally last week.
Oh, okay.
He went on a second date this week. We literally just went out on Tuesday, and now he wants to go on another date this weekend.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hopefully this works out. Hopefully this works out. Yes, you know what? When he brings you to his family, his friends, that's when you know when it comes to these men not black, they gotta claim you. That's to me, that's how I know you're really serious. Where, I mean, unless y'all keeping it a secret on purpose, but if not, if y'all want to be open with it and he claims you to his family and friends, that means a lot,
Yeah, and I can't remember who was saying it in the chat, but someone was saying, like when you're out with a man of a different race and you're a black woman, like people will stop and they will look and they will stare.
I know, it's crazy. You can just be. Go ahead. I'm just talking to the man. Like, you don't even know what we're talking about. Like, they're like, oh my God. Like, what, their minds go to the gutter, some of them, and it's ridiculous. Like, that has even happened talking to black men. I've had this happen. It's so weird. Like, why are y'all so acting funny just because I'm interacting with another man? Well, not another man like I'm a man, but a man. I'm interacting with a man, but yeah, especially he's not black. They need to stop. They need help because black men are out here. They're out here with everything, not black.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
No one even bats an eye anymore. So they need to get over it when they see us. They need to get over it. I'm a cute woman. Yeah, he's talking to me. Sometimes they might be thinking, is she really going to give up the number? Can he handle that? Oh, he talking to her? Oh, how he get her? Oh, he can't handle that woman? They make all those assumptions.
Yeah, they do. But I think that there's always that assumption that every black woman, I guess, quote unquote, needs to be handled. But sometimes it's just like, no, you just have to come correctly and there won't be no issue, you know? So.
Yeah. So thank you from Connecticut.
No problem. Yeah. Thanks for taking
right.
my call.
Thank you, and good luck to you and the man from Persia.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Wow. There's a lot of Persians in California, I heard. There was a really good show called Shaws of Sunset that used to come on, and they were all Persian. There's not a lot of Persians I meet over here. Oh, San Francisco, California.
Oh, San Francisco.
Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Cerebral.
Hello. Hey.
I came into this. My name is Jasmine. I've been watching your channel for some time now, but I saw your post about CK and her latest video, and I just wanted to chime in that I really enjoyed that discussion. It's so true. You know, I just recently got back with my boyfriend. We've been together for over a year. He's Mexican, and he took me to his family wedding. And we were supposed to. It was kind of awkward because we had just broken up and we were getting back together, and they hadn't seen me in a while. But he was first to tell me, like, if anyone gives you a problem, let me know. And so, just want to tell Black women out there that you don't necessarily, you know, there are men that are willing to protect your honor of all races. So don't get discouraged. Because sometimes people look at us weird because he's Hispanic and I'm Black, and so and he's a good man. So I just wanted to say that to encourage you. And I always try to have a good relationship with his sister, his mom, and family. And by the end of the wedding, it was awkward at first. By the end of the wedding, we all had a good time and we were drinking and laughing just like any other family. So I just wanted to say that.
Yes. There's nothing like a man that will protect you, you know, and stand up for you, you know. That happened to me with this guy I was talking to. His friend said something. All I know is I heard him say African American. And I'm not even I guess I'll be called that. I got Jamaican roots as well and so-called African American. But he don't know me. So he knows I'm a Black woman. And he got mad and he told him, shut the F up. And you know.
Right.
Now, I didn't say anything. As a woman, I let him handle it. And he told him to shut the F up. And then he got quiet. So.
Yeah.
You know.
Some of these men have more backs than Black men, you know. And I have nothing against Black men. You know, I have a Black father and he's a good dad. And, you know, it's just that sometimes you love who you love and you should give everyone an opportunity, especially with how the numbers are, with just marriage-minded Black men in general that are actually going to qualify for what you really want, you know. And so I just, you know, I heard a lot of women, you know, kind of nervous about dating out and what other people will say. Don't even worry about what the other races of women look at you, how they look at you. You know, you're happy. They don't care about what you think about them. So just remember that, you know.
That's right. So I asked the question to several Black women tonight, and I'm going to ask you. Deep within you, do you want the world to love you?
I know that's not possible. I'm too pragmatic for that. I only care about the people that I love, that matters. As long as they love me, that's all that matters. And the people that impact me and those that I love, you know, that are around me in my circle and my tribe. But everyone else, they don't have to love me. They just have to respect me. And that's just kind of how I move through life.
Okay. All right. And what do you think about, you know, getting along with the other races of women, with the men you're dating? You know, you're dating a white man, an Indian man, an Asian, Arabic, and everything, but you don't like the women at all. I mean, do you think that's a problem?
You know, you do your best. You know, you keep it classy. As long as you're cordial and nice, you know, that's all you can do. And there are people in his family that don't like me. But there's also people that do like me. And so I just try to focus on that, you know, and realize that, you know, I'm not going to win everybody. Not everybody's going to like me. So I just do my best, and I know that I treat him right. I know he loves me, and we love each other. And, you know, I try to just run with that. But, yeah, I do think that, you know, what the kid was saying, that you should try to have a good relationship with the women, especially the women that matter to him most. But you do your best, and, you know, and that's all you can really do. So, yeah, I do agree that you should try.
I agree. So thank you for the call. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Let's see. I will take one last call. Those of you who are new, I'm going to play this clip one last time, and then I'm going to take a call. And here is what the topic is about. Tonight's call.
The pink pill is the pink pill now. Put your piggies up now, up now, up. Live well to the extreme now. Put your piggies up now, up now, up.
Hey, it's Pinky. You're on the Pink Pill YouTube channel. Be a love and like, share, and subscribe. Pinky's up.
Hey guys, Chris here again from the Pink Pill. I want to have a serious discussion about something. I just recently posted a success story of one of my followers who followed my teachings on the Pink Pill and landed an amazing husband who is a successful, gorgeous provider. And within the testimony, she mentioned that the things that she'd learned in the Pink Pill about how to be a good guest and how to present herself landed her in the good graces of her future mother-in-law. She simply said in her testimonial that her mother-in-law likes her now. And one of the responses was, what she mean by that? Her mother-in-law likes her now. So you mean I gotta kiss up to white women? Ugh, ooh, ugh. Okay, let me tell you something. If you think that you can navigate in a world and not have to work to build rapport and get into the good graces of people, you're going to lose, okay? Here's the deal. Whether it's a future mother-in-law, whether it's an employer, whether it's an employee, you gotta learn how to build rapport and cultivate relationships so that you can effectively network, so that you get what you want. I need for you guys to abandon this idea that you just can just show up and just be like, you just gonna have to take me, hi, I ain't kissing up to you, blah, 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 blah. How's that working out for you? How many proposals have you had? How many promotions have you had? Listen, in the real world, we all have to ingratiate ourselves in order to build relationships, build rapport, so bottom line, we get what we want. What I find a lot of is that Black women think that all they have to do is show up and not have to make any type of effort. In particular, let's talk about relationships. And you're dealing with potentially a white mother-in-law. A lot of you are interested in interracial relationships, but you have issues with white women. You have issues with white people in general. So you think that you can just be with this white guy or be with this non-Black man from a different culture and totally disregard all of the women in his life that mean something to him. Do you think that, for instance, you got engaged to a black man and you met the mother-in-law? Did you think that you could just show up and just be any kind of way? Or did you think that maybe you're going to have to work to be in her good favor too? Why is it so offensive to work to be in the good favor of a white mother-in-law, but there's no question working to be in the good favor of a black mother-in-law? I think a lot of you need to really examine the chips that you have on your shoulder about white people. I understand where it comes from, and a lot of it is valid. When I was going through what I was going through, where somebody white really did something to betray me in a very obvious way, a lot of you said, see, you should not deal with white women at all. White women should not even be in the equation. Now, if I would have taken that attitude, I would not have been on the news the other day. Here's the thing. With life, you have to take chances. In life, you're going to have to put yourself out there. In life, you're going to have to be vulnerable. And so to shut yourself off from all these potential blessings and opportunities because you aren't going to kiss up, you're going to end up being alone, you're going to be stuck in the same job, you're going to be stuck in the same situation because you absolutely refuse to be hopeful and open. And here's the thing. Building relationship with people, whether it's romantically or professionally, you have to be open. You can't expect for people to come to you. The ideal is that you guys come together. But here's the thing. When it comes to getting in the good graces of people, whether it's a boss, whether it's a future mother-in-law, whether it's a sister of your boyfriend, whether it's a friend of your boyfriend, people, you want to present yourself in a way that you're likable and not have a chip on your shoulder. And that's what a lot of people have complaints about when it comes to black women. Look, I get it. We get rejected a lot. And sometimes it just hurts less to reject before being rejected. I get it. But if you go through life that way, what's going to happen is you're going to miss out on so many opportunities because you're going to turn so many people off because your energy is so closed off. And you've made assumptions about people that if it were the other way around, you would feel were racist and prejudiced against you. If people made assumptions about you based on the way you looked or from your background, you would call that something ugly. But when you do it, it's just, I'm not gonna kiss up. You're gonna have to like me the way you like me. You're just gonna have to like me the way I am. And the fact of the matter is that the most successful people in the world know how to build bridges. They know how to cultivate relationships. They know how to be a little bit hopeful and vulnerable and to meet people in the middle. And so if you go through life being afraid of being rejected, assuming and projecting that every non-black person has it out for you, or you think that you only have to be nice to that white guy you like and you don't have to worry about anybody else in his life, I have news for you. White men are cultivated differently, okay? They are cultivated to have a love and respect for the women in their lives. And if you can't understand that, respect that, accept that, then things are going to be really hard for you in the long run. You're going to have to learn to take down that defensiveness. You're going to have to learn how to dial it down a little bit and not making so many assumptions and meet people where they are and build rapport, okay? If you're not ready to do that, if you're not prepared to do that, then you're not prepared to move further in life. Because in order to move further in life, you're going to have to open yourself up. And sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes you're going to be hurt. But that's life. That's life. Think about all the risks you took with all of those black guys you dated. You didn't date one black guy and say, well, that's it for me. A lot of you have given black men chance after chance after chance. A lot of you have given black people in general chance after chance after chance after hurting you repeatedly, but then have a certain set of expectations that are totally different from everyone else. So I would just ask that if you want to be successful, because you're not doing me a favor, you're doing you a favor. If you want to be successful professionally and personally and romantically, you're going to have to meet people in the middle. You're going to have to stop being so defensive and stop thinking that every person is out to get you. It's a lonely place to be. It's not a good place to be. And it's not going to be a successful place to be. So that's what I have to say about that. I know it might have sounded harsh, but here's the fact of the matter. We need to be more open. We need to be more vulnerable. We need to be more open to take risks. And yes, you are going to make the wrong choices sometimes. But again, you pick yourself up, you learn the lesson, and you keep going. But the lesson shouldn't be that you're just going to give up and you're just going to shut yourself off. If you do that, the only person that loses is you. I'm Crystalline Karazin, the creator of the Pink Pill franchise. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. And pinkies up.
Okay. Listen, this is one of the best, most positive videos I've ever done. And I have 18 dislikes, which has never happened. I need all of you, before I start speaking, to get these likes up right now. Okay, the demons are out. They trying to dislike me because we are speaking some truth tonight. Okay. Yes, I can speak proper English. I know y'all call it that. We are speaking some truth tonight. So I'm going to check right now. Let me check right now how many likes I have. 157 likes, 18 dislikes. Okay, I'm going to check again now to see how many likes I have now. Ooh. Okay, 175. Make sure y'all keep getting those likes up. Get them demons angry. Okay, so all right. So I'm going to take a call. Well, no one's calling yet. Georgetown, Texas was calling. Call back in, Texas, and anyone else who wants to call. I played the video. I shared what I thought earlier, but I replayed the video, and I want to hear your opinions on the video. Tania says the truth hurts to those that don't want to hear it. You know, like I said, a number of black women have good souls and are good people, and the world needs to see it. You know, with us not being so closed off. But then there are some who are prejudiced and mean. I remember in school, this white girl wasn't doing nothing. This black girl was just picking on her bad. And she stood up for herself and she said, oh, y'all white girls standing up now, huh? And I was so disgusted and embarrassed. I was disgusted. It was if she had been white, it would have been called racism. And I just couldn't believe a human was treating another human like this. I stand up for a lot of black women, but I have never said we were all perfect and everybody is good. That's just not reality. Some people are good in the world and some people are bad in the world. And no one is exempt from this. But I said before, and she said it too, isolation is not going to help us. It's going to make things bad, worser. I'll give it 3 minutes. If I don't get a call, then I will end it. So far, thank you for the donations. Someone insulted the Cash App thing. I had to handle you. First of all, one of the reasons so many of us like it is because we get our donations right away. YouTube does take a fee. I still appreciate the super chat, but with Cash App that doesn't happen. So that's why a lot of us prefer the Cash App. Super chat or Cash App is fine, but Cash App is definitely preferred a little bit more. And thank you. All right, so K-Ann. K-Ann, what state are you calling from? Where are you at? Yes, Rose K. And thank you for the compliment earlier, Rose K. You said this is excellent. We have to change the narrative. Exactly. Our stereotypes is so bad that we have to change it the same way Asian women did for themselves. Yes, they did. They didn't always have good stereotypes all the time. Actually, I take that back. They've had kind of good stereotypes, but they weren't always looked upon that great. Believe me, they weren't. Now it's a different story. And no one. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Black women, we have to change the stereotype. A lot more of us have to, and like I said, it's not about faking it or anything like that, but, being more friendly. Hello. And there are a lot of black women that do that, but a lot of younger ones are not as always friendly. And sometimes you can be friendly, and some men take it the wrong way. They think you want them just because you're saying hello. There's a nice way to let down a man if you don't want him, but changing these stereotypes is extremely crucial. It's crucial. Some of these stereotypes are not true, but they've stuck, and it sucks. Hi, HW. It's not fair when good black women have to suffer because of bad stereotypes. It's not good that if we go to foreign countries, because there are groups of black women from parts of Africa that go places that prostitute, every black woman that come there, people think we're prostitutes. That sucks. And their situation is because they're not being led by their men, which has caused them to get in that position. But either way, it just sucks. It sucks being stereotyped. We don't really, I can't speak for everyone, but that strong word is not a word promoted over here, GOAT. I'm tired of the strong woman narrative thing. I am a feminine, delicate flower. I'm no one's race soldier or strong old woman. I'm tired of that narrative. But it's good to see, GOAT, that you appreciate your mother for doing the best she could. When it comes to having strength, also means there's a lack of empathy because you're being viewed as less delicate as other women. Thus, the treatment is not as great. When people think you're stronger, they think you can handle more emotionally. I can be meaner because she can take it. I can hit her because she can take it. I can do this and that because she's come from a strong group of women. We can put her through pain. No, I don't think so. Smart women, we don't want to be strong. All women are strong when they have to be. You put any woman in any situation where she needs to take care of her children or the odds are stacked against her, I find a lot of women will go into survival mode. But no, I'm tired of that strong woman stereotype thing. I want to be treated like the delicate flower that I am. God's creation, God's baby that he made. And I know some people say God is a woman. You know what I mean? That was made from the rib of the man, as the story goes, whose bones could break and who has to be nurtured. So, okay, your favorite bedouin says, don't call me strong or queen. The queen thing, well, I don't mind my man calling me his queen. I'm his queen, but I get it. I get it, it's sort of a thing a lot of men do to kind of suck up to get you. The queen, she's a queen. I feel like this, if you're gonna call us queens, where is my queen treatment? Okay, I'm getting a call from California. This is the last call for tonight. Hello?
Hi, Cerebral. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Who's this?
My name is Anka. I called you before, a long time ago, probably a couple of months ago.
Hello.
Hi. I really appreciate everything that you do and everything that you say. And I wanted to just add something into why we should not let people look at us as being strong Black women and how it can actually hurt us. Just another example, many examples from personal experience. I went to the hospital once, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and I was having horrible panic attacks. I had very bad panic attacks. And anyway, after everything was, they said I'm fine, basically I could more or less go. I was told to please wait here for one moment. And so they said they needed to draw blood. And so this guy comes in and he's drawing my blood. He just didn't seem to know exactly what he was doing. And so when he came back, and so another guy came in and kind of helped him finish doing it. And then the guy left and he said, oh, I hope that didn't hurt you much. But, we looked at you and you seemed like you were strong enough to take it. And so he's a paramedic in training. This is one of the biggest, this was at St. John's Hospital. I'm sorry, St. John's, Santa Monica, in Santa Monica, Los Angeles, Santa Monica. And, and it was like, you look strong. And so I said, all of a sudden, I said, what makes me look stronger than any of these other women? And everybody else were white women. Okay, and maybe one woman who was kind of ambiguous. I said, what makes me look strong? Like I'm the one who can take some guy learning how to do a line on me, And anyway, that's kind of what that's the way in which your medical care could actually be affected by someone with their implicit biases, thinking that she's strong, she can use her. Go pick out a woman, pick out that one.
Yes, it's disgusting. It really is.
It is, and you do really have to. When people start saying, "Oh, look, you're strong," and especially our mothers and aunts and people keep saying, "Oh, you're a strong Black woman. Don't cry. You're really going to have to just put your foot down and start telling people, no, I'm a delicate flower. Do not call me strong. Do not call me queen. I want to be the princess. I want to be the tropical flower. But don't let people do that to you, because we've all fallen into that for too long, and it's time, like you said, to completely change the narrative. And it's going to be very difficult because, like Crystalline Carrison had said on one of her other videos, where she said that it's so bad that, when you go to Russia or you go to Poland or someplace, anyway, England or whatever, and the people think that Black girls are supposed to be twerking, teenage Black girls are supposed to be twerking someplace because they've seen it on video. So we do have to change those images. I don't know how to do it, okay? I just know that somehow they have to be changed. I just hope it happens pretty fast.
It's not right. I don't get why they believe. I guess they think, well, they endured slavery, the women, for that long. I guess they strong. Or look at what they put up with. They strong. They fighting in the street. These women could take something. It's like, you see I have a vagina. You see I have breasts. I give birth. I am a woman. I have a woman's face. I'm not saying I don't get treated always like that, but I'm not short. I feel like I've been treated a certain way before because I'm taller. But yeah, I'm not as strong as a man or anything like that. And I'm tired of the stereotype. I really am. And it will change, but we as black women also have to start doing some things to change these stereotypes as well. And we cannot support the toxic women that ruin our image.
No, I absolutely agree with you because, like you said, we're judged on a collective. We don't get the luxury of being judged as, oh, well, that's just one crazy woman. No, every one person does it. Everyone does. You have a mass shooter who, some white guy goes and, takes out 20, 30 people. Oh, he's a lone wolf, If that had been a black guy, or don't let it be a black woman, which is never, of course, happened. But, I mean, in terms of that kind of mass killing or something, all of a sudden, all black women would be out there, getting ready to shoot up the whole country or something. We don't get the luxury of being judged as individuals, and it's sad, but that's just a reality. And I also wanted to say something about our younger girls, the young girls, like the ones, the teenagers, like 14 through 30 or something like that, or at least 25. So many of them are still being so mistreated. I think with the advent of social media, especially blowing up like it is, I think it really, really does harm our black girls, and especially with the things that so many of the black guys are saying. I mean, I personally just tell girls, I'm sorry, but I just tell them, look at other ecosystems. Don't even bother. Don't even, let them compete. But don't even worry about black men anymore. Just look elsewhere, because unfortunately, unless you're like an 11 and a half black woman, you're probably not going to get the kind of black guy that you want who's going to worship.
Lord. Yeah, I see a lot of these. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, and I used to be the ride or die, the really soldier, Ungawa, black power. I mean, I've done it all, okay, but to be, and I have been, I've been screwed over by black people. I've been screwed over by a white person too. But I've definitely been screwed over a white bank. But I haven't been screwed over by white individuals. I've been screwed over by white institutions, things like that. But in terms of individual white people, I have not. I guess I could say I'm lucky. But I have been screwed over by trying to help so many different black people, men and women. And sometimes you just get tired, Sometimes you're just tired.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. I hope a lot of these younger black girls, I'm on Instagram, I see them showing that they don't even have any intellect, half of them. All they do, they look beautiful, they got banging bodies, and all they can do is bend over and shake their butt and talk about nothing. It's irritating. And these young black... They act like they never had no sex before. Some of them like, ooh, I gotta go act wild. Let me go up in here and shake it. Come on, get it. Oh, my phone almost fell. I'm like, God, like, I know you have a man. You're very beautiful. You have a good body. But it's like, can y'all show us something and say something of intellect? And some of these young girls, they don't talk about nothing besides hair, something on social media, music. We need, I'm not saying all of them. Black women are diverse, but a lot of these young girls, I hope they change, how some of them are acting. Stop embracing the ghetto culture because it's not going to help you.
That ghetto culture.
This race soldier stuff has gotten worse with these young ones. I just can't even believe it. And, they're not.
Hurts me.
Yeah.
It hurts me. It really hurts me to see that and to see what's coming down the pike. And I feel so bad for these girls because so many people have done. There have been those who went ahead who really did try to do a good job. And black people weren't always like this. There was a video, I guess, a video on YouTube that I saw talking about about 2 years ago. It just happened to come up in my feed for some reason. And I actually clicked onto it because I thought it was an insulting title. I didn't understand exactly what the title meant. So, of course, I clicked onto it. And in the end, after watching it, I felt like I kind of wanted to cry. The name of the video, if you don't mind me giving it, you can block me if you want, but it was called "How to Sell the Negro." How to Sell the Negro. I thought they were talking about slavery or something. But if you just look at it, and it was something telling advertisers back in 1950 something, early 50s sometime or whatever, how you can sell things to black people. And they were talking about how they were showing these are good families, they have good houses, they work, their credit is good, blah, blah, blah. All of these things that they were trying to show. And I thought, after seeing that, I was like, that time is gone. And that's what made me kind of cry, was that time really appears to be gone. And I don't know how to bring it back. I don't have a time machine, but, anyway, that's what kind of upset me a lot. But there was a time when, the group was kind of cohesive and tried to work together. Yeah, people did step out. People did all kinds of things like any other society. But there was that time, once upon a time, where things were better than what they are now. And I think it's maybe because we all had to stick together. We couldn't go into other communities, so we had to make our communities very good. But at this point, I told my daughter, you know what? Go nest in another man's culture. What is it? Go nest in another man's community, or whatever they say about black men. Go on and nest someplace else, because there's not very much left, unfortunately, here. And I know that sounds really bad, and I never would have thought I'd say something like that, but I've emphasized now, what's that saying? That you're nesting in another man's patriarchy. Yeah, that's it. Go nest in another man's patriarchy at this point, because there's not a patriarchy here that's worth counting. There are a few, obviously, but I don't mean, some, not all, but there's such a big majority that are. So it's time maybe just tell the girls to start looking into other patriarchies to go nest in. I don't just mean white ones. I mean, there are all kinds of other groups, at least in the world. The world's a very big place. You don't have to be stuck here.
Yes.
Well, right now our passports aren't worth crap, but once our passports get worth something again, you don't have to be stuck here. And there are people who will love your blackness, your facial features, and your hair, and everything.
Yes, there was a caller who said that we as black women, a number need to go to Europe. And she said, you will see that you are not hated. I've always heard that about European white men.
I think I may have. I told you that. In fact, when I was doing something, location is an old saying in Antarctica that says that a woman at the substation that says a woman, how do they put it? She's a plane flight away from being beautiful. Well, because I was trying to write this whole thing about my life, and so anyway, I wrote, well, you know what? Europe is a plane flight away from us being beautiful, and that's what I had discovered. Europe was a plane flight away from me going from being a subpar, zero down here in the black community. Being like at least a 7 or an 8, and I'll take a 6 or 7 or an 8 over a 0 or nobody looking at me. And there was one lady who said, sometimes everyone's not going to get top shelf Todd or something. Getting middle income grad is not such a bad thing, and if you're not that high up in life, and you get a guy with a trailer, he has his own trailer and something, or whatever, his pickup truck, and you treat him nice, and maybe he has a little pension or something. If you don't mind dealing with someone older, I wouldn't do it. But that's not. But there are, and I'm not. And that's not to put someone down who does. I just thought I helped take care of my father and watch my mother run herself ragged, taking care of my dad when he was really, really sick, and it was with love, and we all did it. But I'm just saying, it's very difficult in taking care of, people who are infirmed, and I'm just not that good of a caregiver. I'm sorry, it's just not me. But I will try. I'll pay someone, but it's just not me. It's not not in me. But I am saying that.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I have?
No. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that other countries, there's so many other countries that you can leave to, and I've been trying to encourage girls for 20 years to get the hell out of here, especially dark-skinned black. I've told them, you need to get out of here. I've been saying this for 20 years. Get out, get out, get out, especially if you have a decent education. There are so many other places where the men have not been enculturated to see you as ugly, that if you're here, well, especially my pictures, I'm going to be ugly. Okay, but, obviously I'm not ugly. Now I've learned to look at myself and say, no, I'm not ugly. But my point is that there are places where, you're exotic and you're different, and of course, you're not going to marry the prince when you go over there, but if you get an average, nice guy, and you all can work together, and someone who's not going to dump you for somebody, and you can be dumped no matter what. Don't get that part wrong. I don't care who you are. You can work with a man and get dumped. Look at that Juanita Broderick story that's coming up, how she worked 3 jobs. But my mother told me, never put a man...
Hold on, I can't really hear you. You said a woman works 3 jobs?
There was the woman, this woman, Juanita Broderick. She's been trending on, and so she keeps coming up in my feed. And so I listened to her story. This woman put her husband through dental school, and through law school. And after 20 some years, he dumped her for a cheap job. Some new chick who were, I'm sorry, cheap job. It's an expression. It's a Polish expression. I'm sorry. It means like a hot but stupid kind of chick or something like that, a cheap shot. Anyway, he dumped her for one of those, and when he dumped her, and anyway, he married this other woman. The woman walked in later. The wife who was dumped a year or so later walked into the man's bedroom and killed him and his wife. She's still in jail, unfortunately.
Lord.
Oh no! You have to look up if they're making a movie again out of it. That's why it's showing. It was trending on certain ecosystems. But yeah, it's doing that. But my mother always told me, never, ever put a man through school. If he wants to come up, you can help support in a nice way, help with the kids, the house, whatever. But don't put all your money, energy, and resources into this man because they're, especially if you're dark. I'm sorry to say this, but my mother told me, said, you're dark. You're going to get used to them. Some man's using you. And it hurt to hear it. Trust me, it did hurt for my mom to tell me that stuff. And it turned out to be true. And I look at the man who I was so in love with in college, and he actually, he had cheated on me a few times, but I was all stuck into this thing. My mom told me, you have to marry a doctor. He's going to be a doctor. And he had cheated on me, and he even gave me VT. Oh God, my grandmother said, he gives you 10 shit to eat, and you ask for 10 more after eating that. That's like that was something my grandma used to say. But anyway, this man, in the end, when we were about to graduate, the ring had been given back and forth. I'd been throwing back the engagement ring. He'd give it back. I'd cry. I'd make up. He finally said, well, and I'd had enough by then. He said, Anka, we should now get married, and you can put me through Meharry, the Black medical school. You can teach and put me through Meharry, and then afterwards we'll have a good life. And I looked at him and I said, I don't say his name, but anyway, I said, honey, I need to be honest with you at this point. I said, I'm willing to do this. I love you. I love you more than anything. I said, however, I need you I need an understanding. If I go, I marry you, I put you through school, okay, and I go through your internships in medical school and probably have a couple little nappy-headed girls who both of us have kinky hair and all that stuff. I said, that other men may not even want. I said, if you cheat on me or if you leave me, I will kill you.
Oh, Lord.
I did not, well, I had pulled a gun on him before. Anyway, I didn't crack a smile like I did with some other woman. Look, I was really a ride or die. I was stupid, okay? I tried to tell this girl, I was like, don't be me. Anyway, I told him, hang on to the ring and think about it. I said, and he said, well, they'll put you in jail. I said, no. I said, because I will walk into your job. I'll walk to the hospital. I said, don't let it be a white woman you're leaving for. I said, because he'd already cheated on me with like high yellow women. And then when I came in, I said, it's a white woman. It doesn't matter, white, black. I said, I'm not going to be sitting here getting a couple of $100 a month child support while some other woman that I have battened you up for is enjoying the country club life and the Jaguar and the nice home. And I'm in the little crappy starter house someplace. It's not going to happen. I said, so I will blow your brains out in front of everyone in the hospital, and I'll blow my brains out. And so you have a couple of orphan kids. I really want you to decide. what you want to do. If you want to give me the ring back, give it to me in another week. Otherwise, you can't be faithful. I suggest you keep it. Well, I never did get that ring back. But that's a good thing because he's cheated on all the other women.
Oh, Lord.
And so it's a good thing that it happened. So he saved me.
Wow.
And now, I have a relationship,
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling. I remember your voice. I remember you. I remember.
Yeah.
So.
I know. I've watched you. I watch you. I watch Crystal and Karazan. Like I said, you guys are great. I love what you're doing for the younger ladies. And don't be a ride or die. Take care of yourself first. Self-love starts with self.
Yes, that is very true. So thank you so much.
Have a wonderful evening, and best wishes to everybody. And
yes.
I'll talk with you.
God bless you.
Okay.
Thank you.
God bless you. You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Call back again. All right. Bye.
Yes, I will. Bye.
All right. Bye. Oh, so sweet. So, okay. Let me close the phone line. Give me a second, y'all, real quick. Yeah, get those likes up, y'all. Okay. So, that is it for tonight. This was a very powerful and amazing discussion. If you just came in here, you better watch this and replay this from the beginning. I'm not playing, y'all. This will be uploaded probably in like 10 to 15 minutes, this whole live. Probably in 5 minutes when this is over. Just the live chat might take a while to upload, but watch this, y'all. So what I'm going to do, I'm not trying to be annoying, but I'm going to play Crystal and Karazan's The Pink Pills clip one last time so you know what the discussion was about tonight. Whew, it was good. One of you wanted me to do a part 2. Thank you for the donation as well. And I'm going to play the clip, and then I am going to end the live. Part 2 might come. So I really love this. Yes, Silent Storm, because there are new people viewing this, and this was so good. So for the last time, this is the clip of what the discussion was about tonight from the Pink Pill. Go to her channel, subscribe to her and me. Make sure you get those likes up because the demons are trying to, they're trying to, thumbs down my video. And this was a very positive video. And a lot was said and a lot more will be said again. So here it is, and y'all have a good night.
The pink pill is the pink pill now. Put your piggies up now, up now, up. Live well to the extreme now. Put your piggies up now, up now, up.
Hey, it's Pinky. You're on the Pink Pill YouTube channel. Be a love and like, share, and subscribe. Pinky's up.
Hey guys, Chris here again from the Pink Pill. I want to have a serious discussion about something. I just recently posted a success story of one of my followers who followed my teachings on the Pink Pill and landed an amazing husband who is a successful, gorgeous provider. And within the testimony, she mentioned that the things that she'd learned in the Pink Pill about how to be a good guest and how to present herself landed her in the good graces of her future mother-in-law. She simply said in her testimonial that her mother-in-law likes her now. And one of the responses was, what she mean by that? Her mother-in-law likes her now. So you mean I gotta kiss up to white women? Ugh. Okay, let me tell you something. If you think that you can navigate in a world and not have to work to build rapport and get into the good graces of people, you're going to lose, okay? Here's the deal. Whether it's a future mother-in-law, whether it's an employer, whether it's an employee, you gotta learn how to build rapport and cultivate relationships so that you can effectively network, so that you get what you want. I need for you guys to abandon this idea that you just can just show up and just be like, you just gonna have to take me. Hi, I ain't kissing up to you, blah, 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 blah. How's that working out for you? How many proposals have you had? How many promotions have you had? Listen, in the real world, we all have to ingratiate ourselves in order to build relationships, build rapport, so bottom line, we get what we want. What I find a lot of is that Black women think that all they have to do is show up and not have to make any type of effort. In particular, let's talk about relationships. And you're dealing with potentially a white mother-in-law. A lot of you are interested in interracial relationships, but you have issues with white women. You have issues with white people in general. So you think that you can just be with this white guy or be with this non-Black man from a different culture and totally disregard all of the women in his life that mean something to him. Do you think that, for instance, you got engaged to a Black man and you met the mother-in-law? Did you think that you could just show up and just be any kind of way? Or did you think that maybe you're going to have to work to be in her good favor too? Why is it so offensive to work to be in the good favor of a white mother-in-law, but there's no question working to be in the good favor of a Black mother-in-law? I think a lot of you need to really examine the chips that you have on your shoulder about white people. I understand where it comes from, and a lot of it is valid. When I was going through what I was going through, where somebody white really did something to betray me in a very obvious way, a lot of you said, see, you should not deal with white women at all. White women should not even be in the equation. Now, if I would have taken that attitude, I would not have been on the news the other day. Here's the thing. With life, you have to take chances. In life, you're going to have to put yourself out there. In life, you're going to have to be vulnerable. And so to shut yourself off from all these potential blessings and opportunities because you aren't going to kiss up, you're going to end up being alone, you're going to be stuck in the same job, you're going to be stuck in the same situation because you absolutely refuse to be hopeful and open. And here's the thing. When it comes to building relationship with people, whether it's romantically or professionally, you have to be open. You can't expect for people to come to you. The ideal is that you guys come together. But here's the thing. When it comes to getting in the good graces of people, whether it's a boss, whether it's a future mother-in-law, whether it's a sister of your boyfriend, whether it's a friend of your boyfriend, people, you want to present yourself in a way that you're likable and not have a chip on your shoulder. And that's what a lot of people comes to Black women. Look, I get it. We get rejected a lot. And sometimes it just hurts less to reject before being rejected. I get it. But if you go through life that way, what's going to happen is you're going to miss out on so many opportunities because you're going to turn so many people off because your energy is so closed off and you've made assumptions about people that if it were the other way around, you would feel were racist and prejudiced against you. If people made assumptions about you based on the way you looked or from your background, you would call that something ugly. But when you do it, it's just, I'm not gonna kiss up. You're gonna have to like me the way you like. You're just gonna have to like me the way I am. And the fact of the matter is that the most successful people in the world know how to build bridges. They know how to cultivate relationships. They know how to be a little bit hopeful and vulnerable. and to meet people in the middle. And so if you go through life being afraid of being rejected, assuming and projecting that every non-Black person has it out for you, or you think that you only have to be nice to that white guy you like and you don't have to worry about anybody else in his life, I have news for you. White men are cultivated differently, okay? They are cultivated to have a love and respect for the women in their lives. And if you can't understand that, respect that, accept that, then things are going to be really hard for you in the long run. You're going to have to learn to take down that defensiveness. You're going to have to learn how to dial it down a little bit and not making so many assumptions, and meet people where they are and build rapport, okay? If you're not ready to do that, if you're not prepared to do that, then you're not prepared to move further in life. Because in order to move further in life, you're going to have to open yourself up. And sometimes it's not going to work out. Sometimes you're going to be hurt. But that's life. That's life. Think about all the risks you took with all of those Black guys you dated. You didn't date one Black guy and say, well, that's it for me. A lot of you have given Black men chance after chance after chance. A lot of you have given Black people in general chance after chance after chance after hurting you repeatedly, but then have a certain set of expectations that are totally different from everyone else. So I would just ask that if you want to be successful, because you're not doing me a favor, you're doing you a favor. If you want to be successful professionally and personally and romantically, you're going to have to meet people in the middle. You're going to have to stop being so defensive and stop thinking that every person is out to get you. It's a lonely place to be. It's not a good place to be. And it's not going to be a successful place to be. So that's what I have to say about that. I know it might have sounded harsh, but here's the facts of the matter. We need to be more open. We need to be more vulnerable. We need to be more open to take risks. And yes, you are going to make the wrong choices sometimes. But again, you pick yourself up, you learn the lesson, and you keep going. But the lesson shouldn't be that you're just going to give up and you're just going to shut yourself off. If you do that, the only person that loses is you. I'm Crystal Karazin, the creator of the Pink Pill franchise. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. And pinkies up.
Okay. Hey, Miss Simmons, 178. You want me to do a part 2? I might do a part 2. So that was it. Words of Wisdom by the Pink Pill. Please watch this from the beginning. We were talking about so much with this topic. Oh my goodness. And it's so good. And I want to send out a prayer for all women, especially a number of Black women, that we continue to level up on all levels, and that means spiritually as well, and how we interact with others. Having friendships of all backgrounds is best for our mental health and our spiritual growth as human beings, and not being isolated. So that's all. I hope you all pray for me as well for my spiritual level up as well that we're all working on. And yeah, so have a good night, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed this live. It was so good. Please catch it from the beginning.